A very good morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast. Good to have your company this Saturday morning. I'm Katie Shanahan in for Shanahan, who is enjoying a lovely break this weekend. And with me is the former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker, Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
It is finally here, the return of the Premier League. The defending champions Arsenal got underway, beating New Boys Coventry 3-0 last night, live on talkSPORT. We are building up to all the action coming this weekend. Will Spurs' summer signing shine against Brentford? Will Oliver Glasner's City ground debut end in victory as Nottingham Forest take on Leeds? And can Michael Carrick continue last season's form as Manchester United travel to promoted side Hull City?
A newly promoted team away from home is a tough game. You know, I've been involved in them in the past, so I'm fully aware of what's at stake, what's coming at us on Saturday, what we've got to be ready for.
We'll be joined by a Hull City legend later on in the show, and we'll also hear exclusive interviews with some of the best players and managers in the league ahead of what's set to be a fantastic season of football. Text us 81089, or you can drop us a WhatsApp or call into the show this morning with me and Cass. 03717 223344. We'd love for you to get involved in the show. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. A very good morning. Cass, how are you?
I'm good, Katie. Good
are you ready for the Premier League?
I was ready yesterday. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think there's a lot of good stuff happening, a lot of transfers, and I think it's just going to continue towards September the 1st, where it's going, clubs are going to do a lot of business. I really believe that between now and then.
Who do you think is going to do the best business this window?
Well, I always said Arsenal would do a really big one before the end of the window. I've always... And I felt, Liverpool must do more. They must do. They have to. It looks like now the Belieber one at Manchester United has happened. I'm delighted because I feel vindicated because 2 years ago when I watched him at Brighton and I saw him for the first time against Ipswich in a home game at the start of the season, I was like, wow, look at this kid get across the park. His energy was exceptional. I think there's one downside, and hopefully with experience, he'll definitely learn that, is that he can be quite reckless in his tackling, but he's got unbelievable amount of energy. It's a real added player to their midfield, United, that will, I think, improve other players around them as well.
And in terms of the Premier League being back this weekend, I don't know about you, but I was actually really excited yesterday, and I'm sure many people listening were like, it's back. I know we've had the World Cup, so we've been spoiled, throughout the whole of the summer, but this day, Premier League being back on a Saturday is what we're all here for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all get a bit biased for our clubs, don't we? We all go into a season with optimism.
So you're waiting for tomorrow?
Well, there are a lot of fans as well that will argue that and say, hold it, it's not so optimistic for us because of the pre-season, the transfers we haven't got over the line, but things will settle down, and I'm still looking forward to, how aggressive some teams have got in the market. I mean, Spurs, we'll talk about them later, but wow, they're paying 30% over the asking price for players to make sure that this never happens again. The two back-to-back 17th place finishes is not going to happen at Spurs. They're going, we've got to make some big, statements in signings. And, okay, they've bought a lot of very good Premier League proven players, but I think Spurs will expect more than that.
Absolutely. They can't go 17th again. So
no.
They're going to be pushing for Europe with the amount of spending they have done this window. Right. We're also asking you this morning, where do you think your team will finish this season? We'll hear some predictions from the past week across talkSPORT, but we want to hear from you. Text this number 81089, or you can give me and Cass a call on 03717 223344. Where do you think your team will finish this season. Right, let's get into last night then, because it was Arsenal who started their season with a bang. Here's how it sounded on talkSPORT.
Coventry City back in the big time with the aim of staying in the big time. Arsenal bagged the title last season. Many are tipping them to retain it.
Well defended by Van Eyck right in front of those Arsenal fans, and then as he tried to clear, it fell for Calafiori, and it's siphoned into the net by Kai Havertz. And that is the difference between Premier League and Championship football. Ødegaard full right, still he goes, off to his left-hand side, Solis drilling it in, Saka! 2-0. Coventry have waited 25 years for a return to the elite, but it's got the makings of being a chastening start.
There is a grand canyon between these two sides.
Flick ball around the corner, it's pulled back towards the edge of the 6-yard box and bundled in. And Arsenal lead by 3 goals to nil as Ødegaard wheels away. All the last 7 Championship champions have been relegated in their first season up. And Arsenal off to a successful start as they bid to retain the league title for the first time in 91 years.
Arsenal played like Premier League champions. Coventry played like they're going to struggle to survive.
Yeah, Arsenal certainly playing with the handbrake off and begin their title league defence with a win over Coventry 3-0. Kai Havertz and Bukayo Saka scoring 2 goals in 23 minutes. Then captain Ødegaard was the one to score early in the second half to complete the scoring for the Gunners in what was a routine 3-0 victory. It was also Mikel Arteta's 150th win as manager. And after the game, the Arsenal boss told talkSPORT he was pleased his side got off to a winning start to the season.
Very, very happy with the performance, and it was a lot to like. Right from the beginning, the team showed a great desire to go and grab the game, very dominating, really connecting with each other, really decisive in the actions, and yeah, overall, I think we deserve to win again. We just focus on what we have to do, which is to perform at this level or higher. I think there was still margin for improvement in many areas, but for the stage of the season that we are in, with the 2 competitive matches that we've played, overall, I think there was a lot of positives.
Cass, like he says, lots of positives, but how much can we read into that game in terms of a positive start for Arsenal?
A lot. A few weeks back, a few Arsenal fans were concerned that the pre-season results a bit topsy-turvy, which they were. And then in the last week, you've seen they've absolutely perfectly timed their start of the season, which was Man City in the Community Shield, win 3-0 comfortably. I know some people might go, well, that's the Community Shield, but their performance was exactly what we saw yesterday. Again, the drive and hunger to be champions, and with a swagger as well, Arsenal. I thought Ødegaard was terrific yesterday. Solis as well, coming into the team. Look, the way to look at Arsenal is quite easy for me. Best goalkeeper, definitely the best back 4.
Best midfield?
Close. Very close.
Guimaraes coming in?
Yeah, very close. If Ødegaard plays his best football, then I think you can make a valid point that the best midfield. I don't think they've got the best forward line. I think there's better forward lines in there.
However, if they bring in Julian Alvarez, which is being reported, then how would that change your thinking?
Well, it'll give him a speed merchant down the middle. That I wouldn't say he's a prolific goal scorer, but he gives you the option of being quite direct, and when you need to turn teams, he's a willing runner. With great technique as well. But yeah, Arsenal are quite clearly, we're not saying anything new here. We all know that Arsenal were the team to beat, and they confirmed that again last night because Coventry couldn't lay a glove on them and also found themselves literally having to defend a lot. They just couldn't get out of the position of defending.
Yeah, Christopher Solis looked really good indeed. And also, because there was lots of talk about Vinny Jr. coming in on the left wing, but actually you feel as though he's going to be a regular start and perform really well for Arsenal this season. Well,
he looks a player that's I call him Snow because he settled so quickly. Yeah, with his nickname Snow. He's one of them players that you don't quite know which way he's going to go, left or right. And when he gets it, he's also always got his head up as well. So the amount of passes he played across the face of the box last night, and you were seeing Arsenal players ready to shoot or getting in position, a good position to have a chance of scoring. He did that really well. So, yeah, an exciting start. I just look at Arsenal and think, where is the weakness? really, where is the weakness?
Probably the front line.
Yeah, but it's not a weakness.
No, it's not a weakness, but it could be strengthened.
Exactly. And I think that, that's what Arsenal will do. I think they'll add more to what they've got. And Vinny Jr., I never bought into at all. I never believed that was a transfer that was going to happen. So, they're looking, and it's early days, but they're looking a better team squad-wise than last year.
Talking of squad-wise, we saw the new signing in Ensri Konsa, sitting in the stands and watching on, just over 55 million. Do you think he'll be a regular starter for Arsenal? Because if William Saliba comes back, you feel as though that's the first-choice pairing of Saliba and Gabriel at centre-back.
What a choice to have, eh? Imagine the bench at Arsenal. Now, we've lauded other teams before. We've always said it about Manchester City, and certainly Liverpool, when they made big signings last year, you were looking at the bench. Now, Arsenal's bench, defensively, and, think of Eze at Crystal Palace can come on, for them. Another player. I thought Lewis Skelly was brilliant defensively last night as well. There are massive positives for Arsenal at the moment.
Different story for Coventry, though. Let's hear from Frank Lampard, who also spoke to talkSPORT. He was asked what his message was at full time to the team.
I've come here with Chelsea as a player and as a manager and taken some harsh games. and I had some really, really good players around me as well. And I know the feeling is never nice. You never accept defeat with ease. But also I can give them, I'd be the first one to say to them, that's done. We move on. You take the little lessons of it, the feeling of it, because the feeling of a game like that is not nice. But I also thought as the game went on, they showed some bravery to play and we made some subs. People came in and we're getting players fitter. So I take it in a very, very positive nature.
Reality check for Coventry, Cass, but at the same time, it's the hardest game of the season out of the way.
Yeah, and that's a great way of putting it. It's a great way for Frank Lampard to look at the game and say, get in the dressing room after the game, lads, we got beat 3-0, but you won't play anybody as good as these.
How important is it to also have the likes of Frank Lampard, who knows how to win the Premier League, in that dressing room and guiding them through these tricky spells, because they might have a few this season?
Well, let's remember as well that Frank's a rookie in respect of a manager that's got promoted and going into the Premier League with a promoted team. That's a new first for him. He's had Chelsea's at Derby, but they never didn't get promoted at Derby. He had Everton fighting relegation, but they were already an established team. Now he's got a team that's gone up, and he's had to do business, but he'll mould the team. He'll find a way of, I believe, getting a Coventry side that will be far more competitive. Look, last night, you can't judge them on Arsenal. You cannot.
Yeah, it's a tough start, but let's see how they get on for the rest of the campaign. Right, loads more Premier League chat to come, including exclusive interviews with some of the Premier League's finest players and managers. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT with me and Katie and Cass this morning. Up next, we'll be diving into the back pages. Good morning.
We're due to talk about Spurs now. O'Hara was meant to be here, Jason Cundy, but apparently he's bottled his chance to plug your show. What? If you're not watching but listening, you've put on a Jamie O'Hara mask. Is that a new thing? I mean, that's quite horrific.
I don't know what it looks like. How does it look?
What do you think it looks like?
No, I can't see myself. Does it look like O'Hara?
Have a look at the monitor.
Every time I do that, I turn away.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it looks ghastly, and I never use that word. Yeah. Have you put it on before?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I've worn it before.
It's so
vile.
weird.
It's so weird.
Yeah. So do you want to pretend he's here?
I can pretend he's here.
Okay,
yeah.
let's
Shambles! Shambles!
Why is he not here? I heard he stormed out the studio again yesterday.
Last night, honestly.
Soon it's going to be more of a shock if he stays.
I talk about Spurs.
Take the mask off, for God's sake. Yeah.
Honestly, when we talk...
Oh, put it back, put it back.
Put it on. I love getting into him about Spurs. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And he was saying if they buy Savinho and Mamouche, they're guaranteed top four, top two. And I'm like, come on, mate, come on. The Ange mask will come out, and it just grew legs and arms. the thing, and it just
Well, it's what you do.
exploded.
You got many more masks?
Yeah, we've got Benty mask.
Have you?
No, we don't. No.
Don't wear them in a bank.
Do you know what happened though? Here's what happened with the Ange mask. We bought it last season when he took over at Forest, and we ordered it from I think South America. By the time the mask turned up, he'd been sacked.
How's that? Next March, the England cricket team face Australia in the 150th anniversary test match down under. And as always, the Barmy Army will be there. And thanks to talkSPORT, Visit Victoria could be too. Enter now at talksportwin.com for the chance to score an incredible week-long trip for two to watch the 150th anniversary test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. Enter now at talksportwin.com and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers.
Listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Katie Shanahan here with you, alongside former Aston Villa striker and Tony Cascarino. We're also joined by Dua Lipa. One kiss. The reason we are playing this today is because it is her birthday today, so a happy birthday. Of course she's listening to the superstar and fellow Arsenal supporter, Dua Lipa. Do you like Dua Lipa?
Well, I know Gab does, our producer.
Oh, okay, so we're going to have a lot of Dua Lipa today.
Yeah, it was great voice, yeah.
Any ideas as to how old she is?
Oh, I don't want to be unkind. I'm just going because of my kids. Is she like 32, something?
Oh, you're very close, 31.
All right.
Well done.
That's
quite a dangerous question to play this morning. But also a dangerous question to play is the back pages, because I've been looking at some of the stories. So we're going to pick out some things that we want to talk about. One is this column by our wonderful Troy Deeney, who says, he's basically speaking about Enzo Maresca, saying Maresca can't even be called a top coach, is the headline on the back page of The Sun this morning. Cass, where do you sit on this? He's basically saying Maresca, a winner, he cannot even be called a top coach yet. There is very little evidence to back up any of this.
Yeah, I get Troy's point to a degree, because Man City in the last 2 decades have become an elite club. But he did get promoted with Leicester, yeah?
Yeah, he won the Conference League with Chelsea,
yeah,
and also the Club World Cup final, beating PSG on the way to get that.
Yeah.
Does that not mean he's a top coach? Do you have to win bigger trophies?
Well, people always assume that the Premier League, and you could even argue the point, well, it has to be the Champions League. What was Pep Guardiola brought in from was Bayern Munich, who are European champion. Had been a continual winner. He didn't win that with Bayern, but he won it with Barcelona. But Pep Guardiola was brought in because he was such a serial winner. Now, Maresca hasn't got that CV, but how many have?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
How many have got the CV of Maresca? Of Pep Guardiola. And I think it's it's going to be a difficult job. That is for sure, because when you lose Bernardo Silva, you lose Rodri, and you lose Pep Guardiola, and you put that in as a trio, that's a high-risk job to take.
But also tough to take as a manager, because they're all leaving, so you can't help but take that personally.
Yeah, I mean, some won't have any sympathy at all for Man City, because they say, well, they bought Semenyo, they bought Mark Gay last January. You know, they can add and buy players for fun. They've just sold a load of players and they can bring in others. You know, so you know, they've got a forward line of Doku, Haaland, you know, and Semenya, which is still a very dangerous forward line. Expectation. Look, if he doesn't make top 4, he'll lose his job without doubt.
Well, a number of people were actually predicting that Enzo Maresca is going to be the first manager to be sacked this season. Where'd you sit on that?
I always feel a bit unkind on that sort of question.
So do I.
You know, because
someone has to be the first person.
Yeah, someone will be. And I don't mean your question's wrong. It's not that at all. It's more to do with, let's see how the first 6 games go. I always want to see 6 games. When we get to 6 games, and because, you know, I think the Fulham manager will be under pressure because he's coming in from a position of, you know, didn't happen at Real Madrid. Well, that doesn't happen for many people. You don't have to do, you know, too much wrong there and you could be sacked. I would say that there's a number of managers that will come under scrutiny, whether it's at Newcastle, whether it's Forest with Glasner.
I was going to say also Crystal Palace, you know, with Pierre Sarge coming in, and he's trying to come in after a manager who's just won 3 trophies in 12 months. Yeah, so we've got a similar situation around a lot.
Well, Sarge done, you know, at Lens, he came second in to PSG. So it's a major achievement with a good side. And so it's a really hard one. Because if we go back to the start of last season, what was the conversation about Keith Andrews?
Oh, well, yeah. Exactly.
Doomed. Doom and gloom.
Yeah. You could say the same with Hull City being promoted to the Premier League. Lots of teams and managers proving people wrong. Keith Andrews, what a brilliant job he's done into the second season, his second season. What would you like to pick out from that?
Well, I'm going to pick on, because Gregor Robertson, who I worked with at the Times, and he does great articles, Gregor, and he's done one on the 3 promoted teams, you know, and how they survived. Now, obviously the year before, Sunderland and Leeds done tremendous, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, with their recruitment, Sunderland spent a lot of money. Leeds likewise went for a very physical, big team. And he's done a piece on Hull City, Ipswich, and Coventry. Okay. And there's some interesting, you know, stuff in there. I mean, Hull City are everybody's favourites to go down, and you know, I think it's a little bit unfair because we haven't even seen what Hull City will be in the transfer.
They made 11 signings.
Yeah, and apparently they're going to make another 5 before the window shuts. And Jukurovic, as you know, for me as a coach, I watched them against Millwall. I did the playoff game, home and away against Millwall, and they were fantastic. And they were the better team. I'm going to Millwall today to watch them play Norwich, and Millwall were a good side. They were a good side last year. They were really had an incredible away record. They kept 2 clean sheets against Millwall, okay, and then played the playoff final, kept a clean sheet against Borough, you know, and he went with 3 at the back, or 5. If you want to go the 5 at the back, he went with that system. And the moment they done that, they turned their season around. They were superb at doing it. And I think, you know, people like John Egan, who I know, you know, from the Republic of Ireland, they've got the boy Hughes as well, Charlie Hughes, good young defender. And they've got others. You know, will Ollie McBurney get loads of goals? Don't know, probably not as many. But they've still got players in there with, they feel like they might have a bit more fight in them than people are giving them credit for. And he also talks about Ipswich, 150 million Ipswich has spent.
Yeah, a lot. But it's because they probably learned from their mistakes last time.
Yeah, well, Gregor Robertson makes this point, and he also talks about, you know, and something I noticed as well, that when they came up from the Championship last time round, they went for the top players in the Championships. They brought in Sammy Smodix, they brought in Jack Clark, and they brought in Leon Delap. Okay, all players that have done really well in the Championship. They've not quite done that this year. They've gone for a young lad in Toulouse that's called Emerson, that's hardly played any football, 22 years old, got a few goals for Toulouse. You know, that sort of buying. It could be their record buy of over 26 million. So, again, how will Ipswich go? Because Gary O'Neill's been given a lot of money, the Sunderland-like money, to stay up. Yeah. And then they got Coventry, and I'm sure Frank Lampard, you know, they got 95 points last year. Okay, it's way different in the Premier League. But they also had a good goals against column. Haji Wright done really well. He's a top goal scorer. Can he lift the team up, you know, in the Premier League? So 120 million. I do think their biggest chance of staying up will be Cole Rushworth.
Okay.
Keeper. Didn't have his best night last night, but was superb for them last year. And if he has a really, really good season, he could be the difference. And I think that's why he was Coventry's record signing.
Out of those 3, who do you think's got the best chance of staying up?
Gary O'Neill's Ipswich.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I just feel that Gary's invested all in different areas. It's been very ambitious. Look, it could mean nothing what I say, but I do think Ipswich will really, really look like a side that can cause teams problems.
And it's whether they can turn that spending of over 100 million into an established Premier League club. 17th, you feel as though would represent success for them.
Well, any of them will. I mean, Hull City would take that in a heartbeat. Yep. But it's this idea of teams that come up and can they stay up? And normally 2 of the 3 will go. Yeah. But this year, could it be like last year when Leeds and Sunderland proved everybody wrong?
Yeah. So we won a season of proving everyone wrong once again. Well, talkSPORT reporter Angelina Kelly will be joining us in the studio later to discuss more on these stories in the papers. Right, are you ready for a trip of the lifetime? We are sending you and a mate down under. This is thanks to Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. You could be at the MCG watching England take on Australia at the 150th anniversary Test match. Head to talksportwin.com right now to enter and for full T's and C's. Keep those texts coming in, 81089. Let us know your predictions on where your Premier League team will finish this season. We've had this text here. Good morning, Craig. He goes, morning, Katie and Cass. Great start for the champions, and we won with some swagger too. Can't see anyone stopping Arsenal this season. Up the Gunners. That's from Craig. Good morning, Craig. I'll read a couple of those out after the break. Up next, we'll hear from an in-depth interview with England goalkeeper Dean Henderson ahead of Crystal Palace's first game against Everton. Back in a minute.
You finished 9th. Yep. You come on talkSPORT and said that Chelsea are going to win the league. Yep. Who's the idiot?
We've got a manager that knows how to win a league.
No. Who's the idiot?
Won the Bundesliga.
I don't care. Who's the idiot?
What's the Spursy one? What's the Spursy ever won?
They finished 10th. Sorry. 10th. Correction.
No.
You finished 10th.
You'll take our place.
No, you finished 10th.
You'll take our place.
All right? And you come on talkSPORT and said that you're going to win the league.
You'll take our...
I don't think I'm an idiot in saying that Spurs can finish in the top 4 if we sign for Savinho and Mamush.
You'll take our place.
So,
Roberto De Sperzi.
There's only one mug here, and it's you.
Roberto De Sperzi, he'll take 10th, mate. That's a good season for you lot. Mate, you'll take that. Jay.
Don't
100%.
Don't Jay me. Don't Jay me. Don't Jay me.
Jay, 100% you take 10th. I'll give you 10th now. With 10 games to go 10th. So you've not got to sweat like you did last season. Sweating over the last couple of games. Are we going to go down? Oh, no. We go, oh, no, we'll go down.
Mate, you finished 10th.
Yeah, I know we did.
You literally finished 10th.
Yeah, but we've got a manager that knows how to win.
That's almost like you spent £1 billion on a football team and finished 10th.
Another billion.
Right, who's more embarrassing?
And we're going to win it.
Who's more embarrassing?
Do you know what we should do? We should go for Savinho and Mamouche. Then we'll definitely win it. Could put that in the Todd.
Keep.
Don't start getting.
No. I really want to swear at you, but I'm not going to.
Right? Don't, Jay. Take. I'll give you. Okay, here we go. 10th, yes or no? Yes or no? Jay, yes or no? Take 10th. He's going to take 10th. He's wrong there. You've got to take 10th.
A very good morning. You are listening to Weekend Breakfast live on YouTube and on your smart TV. Katie Shanahan here with you this morning, alongside former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino. We are building up and reacting to another big season ahead. Here's what's coming up on talkSPORT for you today. From 9 a.m, it's the warm-up with Max Rushton and Charlie Baker. Then it's our first game day exclusive of the season. Hull City against Manchester United, presented by Reshman Chowdhury. She'll be here from 11 a.m. this morning. Adrian Durham then takes you around the grounds in the Premier League and the EFL. That's from 2:30. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy will take your calls from 5:30. That's on the Game Day phone-in. The Rory Jennings Show then returns from 7:30 p.m. today. And at 9:30, Gareth A. Davis will take you into the world of boxing with Fight Night this evening. It's a huge day of sport, so make sure you keep it across talkSPORT today. Okay, so myself and Cass we've been really busy, haven't we? Having the privilege of speaking to a number of Premier League players and managers exclusively for talkSPORT as we head into the new Premier League season. We've got Dean Henson on the way, Daniel Farker as well, more to come. But we start with Brentford, because can the Bees continue their heroics from the last campaign and defy the odds once again? So we can now hear all of that from the Brentford head coach Keith Andrews. And Cass started by asking him how he feels about being the 9th longest serving manager in the Premier League, despite only taking charge at the start of last season.
Someone mentioned something the other day about me being in that experience category after 1 year of management, so that just shows the industry we're in.
Yeah. Keith, come on, tell me the year in. I mean, I watched a number of games towards the end of last year, and I'd seen that you drew 8 of the last 10 games, and I was at a couple of them, and I thought you was actually unlucky not to get a couple more wins. So your year for me was, I know you finished 13th, but it was a really good year in performances and not, losing nowhere near as many matches as people would have thought Brentford would have done.
Yeah, I think it's the fine margins, as you know, around certain games and our performance levels. I'm always pretty calm around if we're performing, then the results will come. I think there were certain stages in the last couple of months of the season where the squad was probably a little bit stretched and we didn't have the options that we had maybe before Christmas. But that's the challenge now for this season. Can we take that next step and really go into those European places, challenge, get better consistently? We've added to the squad. We feel like we're in a good place.
Yeah, Keith, for you to look like you embraced the pressure of being put in a job. Matthew Benham took a chance, and something he quite clearly would have felt, that's not a chance. That's giving someone an opportunity to be a coach and then go and be a manager. So, fair play to him and you. Yeah,
I think the general consensus 12 months ago was it was a punt, it was a gamble, whatever way you want to frame it. And Cass, I'm pretty long in the tooth in terms of being in the game. When I went to Wolves as a kid in 1996, I'm not sure whether you were still playing for Ireland at that stage for Jack, but you might have been at the back end of it. It's the game, isn't it? You need to understand what it looks like, what it feels like. And I have no real problem 12 months ago with someone having an opinion that it's a gamble. What are they doing? What are they thinking? And that scepticism that surrounded it. I think the thing that gave me a lot of confidence was mainly the people I would be working with. The owner who you've mentioned, Phil Giles, Lee Dykes, and then the players that I inherited, knowing them, having been in the building for a year, that I felt we could grow as a group once we kind of got through those initial few weeks and months where there might be a little bit of uncertainty. Naturally, the transfer window always brings that anyway. And I think from that point, we gained real trust as a group and we grew.
Yeah, and you've had a lot of outstanding performances as a team and individuals. As a Liverpool fan, I was gutted you got Queven because I thought absolutely sensational. And the goalkeeper that I knew that when he left Liverpool and come to Brentford, I knew he'd be a real top signing for you. And that proved the case during the course of the season.
Yeah, he's been excellent. He was at that age where he needed to go and be in number one. We were really, really thankful he decided to come here. No doubt he had really good options, but for him to find the right type of home to become the number one in the right type of space was important for him as well, having known him through coaching with the Ireland teams, or it was the 21s or the senior team. So that was the next step for him, and he's been magnificent for us.
Yeah, we certainly have. So tell us, Keith, going into your second season, anything different? How you feel? And just you made one or two major signings, which has obviously added to your squad. How do you feel going into this season after a really good one last year?
Feel pretty calm around the way we've gone into it. The pre-season obviously hasn't been as unsettled maybe as 12 months ago, but that doesn't equate to a successful season, as you know. You've been, I'm sure, involved in pre-seasons when they haven't been amazing. You've had good seasons and vice versa. So I think the main thing that I really like about our group is there's a hunger and there's a desire for the players to continually improve, for the team to keep getting better. There's a nice humility about us as a club and us as a group of players and staff that we know where we are, we know what we need to do to get results in what is the most demanding league in the world.
Yeah, well, look, Brentford over the last few years, as we know, and Mbumo's gone. There's people who've got goals on a regular basis, and yet from Sharda to Thiago and others chipped in really well last year.
Yeah, and I agree with you. We've had that pathway for players to go on and get moves, and that has to be still the same for us in the main. I think we have to be run in a very sustainable way. We've got an amazing front line. Dango Ouattara as well added into that. We've signed Jadon Anthony, who did really well for Burnley last year with 8 Premier League goals. So he's provided competition for places in that area. And we've got players coming back from injury in those attacking midfield places as well. So we feel like the squad is in a good place, but as you know, there's a few weeks left in the window.
Yeah, well, it's first up is Spurs for you, and they've had a bit of change, haven't they?
Yeah, a lot of change. Obviously, Roberto's come in towards the end of last season. They came up, they stayed up, and then they've obviously invested pretty significantly over the last 6-8 weeks or so. So the side will look very, very different to what finished the season last season, and it's a game we're really looking forward to.
Cass, a lovely interview there with Keith Andrews. He comes across so well, doesn't he? But also, how impressed have you been with his first season as he enters into his second?
Well, he done unbelievable last year. And, there was a element of, the unknown about what he would be like as a coach. And he showed his qualities throughout the season, whether it was from set pieces and how he set up his team. Remember, he had Thiago, finished second top goal scorer?
Yeah.
And I know he'd been injured the year before,
goals.
And just the way they played. I thought Sharda alongside him and Ouattara as well. They really had a bit of everything, Brentford, last year. And I don't fear for them at all. We all expect teams to struggle with certain levels, and they've always moved on players from one to another. They do it brilliantly well, Brentford.
They do. Igor Thiago, 22 league goals, second only to Erling Haaland. Also, what Keith was speaking about there being the 9th longest serving manager. Yes. That's wild. He's only been there for one season. But how will that continuity be an advantage for Brentford? Lots of change at Spurs who they face today.
Yeah, I don't. There's certain clubs I don't feel fearful. When it's Brighton, when it's Brentford, I look at them as obvious. I would have said Bournemouth, but they've made even more changes than anybody. But they are so well set up behind the scenes. That's the standout feature of them football clubs.
What should their ambition be then for this season? That 9th place finish was excellent. Well,
I think if he could get close to that again, I mentioned to Keith, which was the number of draws they had towards the end of the season. 8 out of the last 10 games. Okay, one of them was in a cup competition, but they were drawing games. And I saw them get beat at Chelsea 2-0, and they played really well. Although they lost the game, they played really well. And I came away, and I saw Keith that day, and I said to him, got a good side there, Keith. They're a dangerous side. They cause teams a lot of problems.
In terms of Brentford, they face Spurs at home today. We can go over to the phone lines. The game kicks off at 5:30. Let's say a very good morning to Benjamin, the Brentford fan. Good morning, Ben. What would you like to say on talkSPORT this morning?
Hi, Ben.
Good morning. Good morning to you. Yeah, basically, I'm 61 years old. I supported Brentford since I was 7 with my brother Simon. And we were basically, we support a little club. And we're never going to get to the promised land of the Premiership. I'd just like to say how grateful I am to the management and also to Mr. Keith Andrews for taking over. Obviously, Thomas Frank was absolutely fantastic. And
Ben, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
Now, I'm old enough to remember Griffin Park, and if you'd have said to me, all them years back, that Brentford would one day spend plus 40 million on a player, well, I would have said you probably could have bought Brentford for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, this is very true. And me and my brother, Simon, we are aghast at how much money has been spent, but we almost have to, that's the way football is now.
Yeah.
And I think when you told me we signed the player from Bournemouth for 40 million, it's like, all right, great. What a player. And funny enough, I live in Bournemouth.
Very good. Benjamin, where do you think Brentford, or where do you hope they will finish this season?
Okay, thinking and hoping. Obviously, I hope that we win the title, but I think we will finish, let's be cautious and say ninth. I'd love to finish in Europe. Yeah, ninth again. Sorry, we'll be ninth last year.
Yeah. Benjamin, thank you so much for your call this morning. Best of luck against Spurs later on today. Kick-off for that one is 5:30. We'll get into Spurs very shortly. But great to get Benjamin, the Brentford fan, on the show this morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Volkswagen's 5+ promise is included when you purchase a selected vehicle. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Katie and Cass with you this Saturday morning. Hope you're all doing well and getting ready for a big Saturday of football and sport. Next up, we will chat Spurs. Are they set for a top 6 finish after splashing the cash this summer?
So this summer has gone from bad to worse for Villa. Unai Emery, Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans already gone, of course. And now it looks like Konza, that's the big one, is on his way to the Arsenal. Now let's bring in another Gabby, who must be delighted. Gabby the Gunner, who has called us in 03717 22 3344. Gabby, a very good morning.
Dry your eyes, Gab. I know it's hard to take, but Constance made his mind up. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, Gab. I know you want to make Constance see how much his pain hurts, but you've got to walk away now. It's over. Sorry, Gab. And Alan, welcome back, sir.
Thanks,
I'm
mate.
so pleased you've got a fit bill of health.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
No, I'm good, Gabby. Thank you very much, mate. I was missing this, so I'm back.
Missing you.
He's not missed you, mate.
Missing you, Alan.
He ain't missed you, Gabby.
Oh, he always misses me. It's you he doesn't miss, Gab. Come on, bro.
Can I ask you a question, though? You
Go
know,
on,
spending what you spent again this summer, is the minimum Champions League and Premier League for Arsenal?
Oh, Gab, listen, you've got to always he'd make a great
asking
politician, wouldn't he, Alan? He really would make
I'm
a
asking
great
you.
politician.
Are you closer to winning the Champions League with these signings?
I still think we're short of one exceptional striker. I think Osimhen, Alvarez, that's kind of the missing link. It could be enough with Solis and with the guys we've got.
Next March, the England cricket team face Australia in the 150th anniversary Test match down under. And as always, a balmy army. TalkSport, talksportwin.com for the chance to score an incredible week-long trip for two to watch the 150th anniversary Test match in Melbourne. Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. Enter now at talksportwin.com and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers.
A very good morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast. Katie Shanahan alongside Tony Cascarino with you this Saturday morning. Hope you're doing well and getting ready for a big Premier League day of football. Here are some of the headlines you're waking up to this Saturday morning. Jai Field scored a length of the field try to send Wigan Warriors top of the Super League table with a hard-fought victory against Wakefield Trinity. Mercedes' George Russell took his first pole position for 4 races in qualifying for the sprint race and the Dutch Grand Prix. And Sunderland will take on Ipswich at Portman Road this afternoon to kickstart their Premier League campaign. Ahead of the game, Sunderland midfielder Luke O'Nien told talkSPORT the squad is ready to compete both in the Europa League and domestically.
I hope I get a reclining seat on my plane again. I'm not going to lie. If I do that, I'll just be made up for this season. What are the focuses? The focus is, I think, it's not complicated. Like, we're going to play games and we're going to do exactly what we do every single day. Like being in Europe, okay, yeah, it might be a new experience, but it's just a chance for us to double down on who we are. It's more games and more experience to build a rhythm, build momentum. We'll need the full squad. If anything, I think it helps us. I don't think it weakens us in any way. I think it creates energy. I think it gets, you need the whole squad. I think when you travel, it brings the team together. I can't see many disadvantages to Europe at all, to be honest with you. Like you grow up wanting to play games. I think it's really cool.
Luke O'Nien there saying that he wants a reclining seat. I mean, they had such a good season last time, didn't they? Finishing 7th for Sunderland, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But I suppose with the juggle of Europe, that is going to be a challenge.
Yeah, it always is going to be. They had an unbelievable season last year. You know, we talked about the promoted teams, you know, earlier in the show and what they have to do. Spent loads of money, but there's an enthusiasm. You know, so I'd be quite optimistic about Sunderland again.
Okay, where do you think you can see them finishing?
Well, I don't think they'll finish as high as last year, but I would certainly go that they're capable of finishing like 13th, 14th.
Yeah.
Which, you know, considering how little they've spent compared to the year before, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
Sunderland against Ipswich today. How do you see this one playing out, Cass?
Good game.
Yeah.
You know, just a good game. I think Gary O'Neill's team will be very attacking. I mean, you've got some individuals in Sunderland, like Brobby's a guy, Lafree as well. He's an attacking player that can counter really well. So, yeah, Ballard, centre-half, really like him. You know, been around the block a bit, but he's a really good centre-half, leads the line, you know, leads the defensive unit of the team brilliantly well. So I think it'll be a great game.
Yeah, 3 o'clock kickoff for that one. And we'll be going around the ground. So you can listen to that with Adrian Durham at 3 o'clock. And for more on all the day's bigger stories, all you need to do is go to talksport.com. They have you covered. Right, let's get into Spurs then. They're in action today against Brentford away. We've just been hearing from Keith Andrews about their ambitions for the season. As for Tottenham, though, they've had a massive squad rebuild under Roberto De Zerbi, with summer spending over £300 million and actually could exceed £450 million. Can't believe I'm saying that. As the club closes in on additional high-profile attacking transfers. Well, ahead of today's game, their manager Roberto De Zerbi has hit back at criticism of this summer's spending.
I don't know if it's right or not, but on the market, and I'm not speaking just in football, in general in the market, you can't say if it's right, fair or not. You can accept or not. And if you want to compete in Premier League now, you have to adapt. I think I heard too many times Tottenham money, but I love football from a long time, and I didn't see teams competing for the high level without spend money. Maybe if Tottenham spend money is a problem in Premier League, I don't know why, but the other teams, all other teams, they spent money in the past, also in this season. But for me, it's not a pressure.
It's also worth noting that talkSPORT understands that Tottenham have also agreed a deal to sign Savinho for a reported fee of £75 million. So after Enzo Maresca confirmed the winger does want to leave Man City. So Spurs have spent money, but Cass, have they spent wisely?
Well, they had to do it. You know, what's happened in the last 2 years has been nothing short of a disaster for them as a football club. And you're going to have to pay over the odds. That's what they've done. You know, there was a period of time that, you know, other clubs have done this. You know, what did Chelsea do when Abramovich came in? Spent over the odds. Produced a hell of a great team. So Tottenham have got a longer way to go where Chelsea got to, as in what they won Premier Leagues and Champions League. But what you have seen is an ambition from the club. I mean, Daniel Levy, whatever he's thinking at this time, thinking, what are they doing? You know, how much they're spending. But I think it was a necessity that they go after. And you know, they've got this incredible stadium. They can get 60,000 in there, huge fan base. You know, if they can get a team that gets going in some sort of fashion that the fans are going to love watching, that only has to be a thumbs up. And it doesn't help. You know, they're obviously going to spend more than normal because Arsenal were champions last year.
But also, do you think they've spent because they trust Roberto De Zerbi, or more because they just can't afford to do another season finishing 17th?
Well, I think it's a bit of both. And also I would add in that, you know, it was an embarrassment for them last year. You know, and that's why I mentioned Arsenal.
And they nearly went down.
Yeah, nearly went down. And you're looking at a side, their neighbours have won the league. And so there had to be a sort of an optimism going into this season from their fan base. And yes, they spent Tonali 100 million in there. They got Fernandes in, and others, you know, are certainly there. They put Van Eyck as well. And the list is quite endless, but that is a real show of ambition by the football club that has not been seen for a long time.
I mean, also, it's kind of a completely different squad if you think about it, with Tonali in, Fernandes, Van Hecke you mentioned, Senesi, Robertson.
Senesi's a big one. And okay, it's a free transfer, but it's another added body. I think the fact they've got Romero out the door is a big plus. They've obviously lost Jed Spence as well. So they have done some sort of business, but they let them go cheaper, haven't they? No one would have imagined they'd gone for the fees they have, but they've had to pay top end to attract players to the football club. If you want to improve, you're going to have to pay more than your neighbours. I don't mean Arsenal, I mean other rivals around you. You're going to have to overpay.
Well, talking of other clubs, the record for spending in one window was actually Liverpool last year with £439 million. Tottenham could smash that if they reach 450 million. So what should their expectations be? Europe?
Well, it has to be. If they're spending that much money, it's not only going to be, can they make the top six? It will be, got to make top four. You know, De Zerbi's put his neck on the line, and he, you know, he'll have that big smile and wants to do loads of business. He made this idea for Marseille in France. He tried to get Marseille to spend way more to even get closer to PSG because they were so far behind. They never did it.
Tottenham against Brentford is 5:30 kickoff today. Who are you backing for that one?
I think it's a really tough game for De Zerbi.
Don't sit on the fence.
No, I think they could get beat by Brentford. I really do. I do think they could get beat. Brentford are an established Premier League team. This is a new team. And by the way, some of the players that they've recruited in are available for this game. And also there's some World Cup players as well that seemingly are not right. So I think it's a massive test for De Zerbi. If they come out and get a victory today, that would be a massive 3 points for them.
Yeah, lots of Tottenham players out. We just got to mention before we go to break, Mickey van der Ven, who's the new captain, out. Pedro Porro, Kulusevski, Oliver, Xavi Simons, a lot of them are actually out for this game, but nice to see James Maddison back. So some, and Solanke likely to play as well.
Tough game for him.
Tough game. Right, you are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Keep your business moving with Volkswagen's 5 Plus Promise. T's and C's and exclusions apply. We'll get more from the back pages next here on Weekend Sports Breakfast. Good to have your company, and it's coming up to 7 o'clock.
And 2 weeks today, the transfer window closes. Would you anticipate much more business in terms of incomings between now and then?
Well, you can see the league, how unpredictable the league is and the amount of things that can happen on a day. So it's better not to talk too much, be prepared, be open, and hopefully we can wrap up the transfer window in a really positive way.
You were speaking before the Community Shield. You were asked about your long-term future and contract negotiations, and you said there's nothing to worry about, Arsenal fans. Do you see yourself as somebody who can do what the likes of Guardiola and Wenger and Ferguson did and stay at the club for many years and build a dynasty?
I want to do what I'm capable of doing and what is the best for the club. And I feel very, very happy and grateful to be sitting where I am with the people that I work with every single day. And my ambition is to continue this way.
Was it strange at Cardiff on Sunday that you weren't facing Pep Guardiola in the dugout, given that rivalry that's developed and obviously your relationship with him?
It was different. Obviously, I know Enzo really well, but obviously the relationship that I built with Pep when we work with each other, and then the amount of headaches and sweats that he has provided to me over the last 6-7 years to try to catch up to the level and the standards that they set in the league has been an absolute inspiration. I think he's left a benchmark and a mark in this league that it will be history forever, and he made us, I think, all of us better.
Have you had many conversations with him since the end of the season, since you were crowned champions?
I had, and I have due to have an important as well in the next few days, and I'm looking forward to it.
Shin pads are a footballer's best friend, even if players like Jack Grealish do wear such small ones you can barely even see them. But what's the story with shin pads, and are there any rules on how big they should be? It all started with cricket, actually. Cricketers had been wearing shin pads since the 1700s. They'd been introduced not for leg protection, but instead to give batters a strategic advantage. The idea was that batters could put their leg pads in front of the wicket if they missed the ball, preventing them from being bowled out. Obviously, that all changed when the LBW rule came in, but that was the theory behind them. It was thanks to this guy that shin protection made its way over to football. Meet Samuel Widdowson. He was a cricketer and a footballer. He played for Nottingham Forest back in the late 1800s, and he wanted a way to protect his legs from nasty tackles. Apparently, he'd broken his leg in a match against Sheffield United in 1874 and wanted to stop it from happening again. Naturally, his mind drifted to his other favourite sport, where players had been wearing these pads. Story goes, Widdowson cut up his cricket pads, sewed them into his socks and popped them on before taking to the footy pitch. Ta-da! Shin pads. Like all great genius inventors, everyone took the mickey at first. To be fair, he probably looked quite stupid running around with these on. But it's thought his whole Nottingham Forest team then began wearing them from 1887, and the first known use of them in a match was in 1894, in a match between Newcastle and the then Woolwich Arsenal. Eventually, FIFA clocked on that this protection was pretty important for footballers. Multiple studies have shown wearing shin pads clearly reduces the risk of players getting lower leg injuries. And so in 1990, basically 100 years after Widdowson first put them on, shin pads were made compulsory. It became a part of Law 4 of IFAB. That's the body responsible for setting the laws of the game internationally. But the law doesn't actually specify anything about measurements of shin pads. It just says pads must be made of a suitable material and be of an appropriate size to provide reasonable protection. It's really vague, and players can get away with a lot. A lot of grassroots clubs are choosing to ban micro shin pads for obvious reasons, though, especially after a 15-year-old player from Penistone Church broke his leg while wearing them. Still no change from IFAB, though. That's why Grealish and co can still get away with these ones, which are no bigger than a credit card and which seem to offer little to no protection whatsoever. Good morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast. Good to have your company this morning. Hope you're getting ready for a big day of Premier League action. I'm Katie Shanahan in for Shabana Hearn, and alongside me is the former Chelsea and Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
It is finally here, the return of the Premier League. The defending champions Arsenal got us underway, beating New Boys Coventry 3-0 last night, which was live on talkSPORT. We'll build up to all of the action ahead of this weekend. Will Spurs' summer signing shine against Brentford? Will Oliver Glasner's City Ground debut end in victory as Nottingham Forest take on Leeds? And can Michael Carrick continue last season's form as Manchester United travel down to promoted side Hull City?
A newly promoted team away from home is a tough game. You know, I've been involved in them in the past, so I'm fully aware of what's at stake, what's coming at us on Saturday, what we've got to be ready for.
We'll also be joined by a Hull City legend later on in the programme, and we'll also hear more exclusive interviews with some of the best players and managers in the league ahead of what's set to be another fantastic season of football. Of course, you can text us 81089, or you can give us a call or drop us a WhatsApp this morning on 03717 223344. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Right, let's delve deeper into the back pages. Lots of great stuff rolling around ahead of the opening weekend of the Premier League. I'm very happy to say joining us in the studio live is Inside Devils host and talkSPORT reporter Angelina Kelly. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good. You are looking incredible this morning with this amazing coat.
Thank you. You know what? Thought bring out the denim. You know, Man United are playing at 12:30. It's starting the day right. Do you know what I mean?
You're both sort of dressed in denim.
We're both in, double denim. Cass, did you not get the memo?
No. I don't think I look good.
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen you in denim, a denim jacket. Maybe one day.
Not for me.
Where would you like to start, Angelina?
I mean, let's kick things off with Arsenal. One of my favourite headlines, back of the Mirror. Flying start for art.
Lovely.
As in Arteta. But yeah, no, very nice. Obviously, they kicked off their defence of the Premier League title with a 3-0 win over Coventry. Goals from Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard. I was thinking the last time that they played at the Emirates in the league, it was a 1-0 win over already relegated Burnley. It was quite nervy. They hadn't won the league yet, but the feeling watching the game and listening last night, it seems like they've got that title, they've done it, they can relax a little bit. Do you think that we're maybe going to see Arsenal playing with more confidence now?
Well, what we can say after the last week that Arsenal have had, Angelina, I was saying the same to Katie, that they've gone 3-0 back-to-back. OK, some people might dismiss the Community Shield. They tore City apart.
100%. And I know that City fans were saying, oh, well, when we lose the Community Shield, we end up winning the league. It's not a good look, is it?
Well,
it doesn't matter if you class it as a... People might know, oh, yeah, it's the Community... But it's not a good look to start your new campaign with a 3-0.
Well, we got to be careful because Liverpool last year started with 5 wins on the spin. Okay, 15 points straight out the bat. Everyone was saying Liverpool. The line was, oh, they didn't play that well, and but that's what champions do. They don't play that well. They win the games, get over the line. That's what Liverpool did at the start of the season. But there's something very different about Arsenal, and it's that they're so good defensively. Yeah. Whenever they lose that ball, they're getting it back off you, and it's hard to break them down. I look at them and think, who's better than them defensively? Who's going to go into this year? Remember the Chelsea team of 2005, with the way they defended, conceded, 15 goals in the season. This team ain't far off that.
Yeah. You think they could push that?
Well, they could get close. I think that record will last for a hell of a long time that Chelsea had. But if you look at Arsenal, I just can't see teams getting, 2 goals in a game against them very often. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, speaking about defenders, Ezri Konsa, he was revealed on the pitch. We've got Gunners can win everything.
Did you see when they panned him on the cameras? He was clearly like faffing around in his pocket, and the person next to him was like, "You're live on the big screen, focus." And then he was like, "Oh yes."
Yeah, it was like he forgot where he was. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have heard this. According to The Athletic, Ezri Konsa has basically been making a commute from somewhere near London to the Bodymore Heath training ground. So it's apparently a 118-mile journey. He joined them in 2019 and has been making that commute. Kaz, is that normal?
No, not really.
What's the furthest you're driving?
No, I was told when I joined Aston Villa, I was told you have to move to the Midlands. When it's okay, that's an obvious. You have to. You can't be sitting in cars, and especially with the traffic around the motorways. Yeah. You can't be sitting around in cars for 2 hours there and back every day. It's not good for your back. It's not good for your...
Have you ever known somebody commit to a long commute?
Paul McGrath used to travel from Manchester to Villa, which was, probably an hour, maybe a bit more to Bodymore Heath, the training ground. He used to do it. But many have. But then, they earn enough money now to go and buy an apartment. They can live in a gated apartment, even at worse if they don't want to buy a big house because...
I mean, maybe not great for the carbon footprint, but, you could fly or you could get a helicopter if you really want. The kind of money that they've got, not great for the carbon footprint.
Yeah, well, Michael Owen did that, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did that with Newcastle.
Exactly. It's a lot, that drive. I mean... I drive up to Manchester sometimes.
That's a long way as well.
That's a long way. Not as obviously he's not going that far, but I couldn't do that.
You got to show commitment to be at the club. So if you're signing a 5-year deal, you're got to move to the area.
But would some people see that as commitment? I don't know.
Well, no, commitment as in. Who knows? Like, I'm not gonna. Who was the player? Was it Harry? Was it Winks? Or who was the player at Leicester that lived in London and was
Harry Winks?
Was it Harry Winks?
Yeah,
who was travelling up and
you want commitment to the club and the fans and the area.
I'm part of this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, his commute's going to get a little bit easier, isn't it? Anyway, also we've had.
Depends if it's the South Circular.
Yeah, true.
Not the North Circular.
True. Is he having to pay congestion charge? I mean, there's a lot of things, but I'm sure it'd be a little bit easier for him.
What else have we got, Angelina?
Well, multiple newspapers have been reporting on FIFA's bans relating to the brawl that erupted after the World Cup final between Argentina and Spain. Band of God in the Sun is the headline. But to run through a few, Leandro Paredes, 10-match ban, a £66,000 fine.
I mean, I remember being in the stadium watching that happening.
It was insane, wasn't it?
I was just like, okay, World Cup final, right, celebrations. And instead, I ended up recording on my phone this massive brawl. And then everyone just left, and it completely left just to kind of...
Sour taste.
As everyone left the stadium. Everyone just piled out. Oh, right, that's the World Cup final. That's the World Cup final we're talking about. No. And it was absolutely tarnished by some terrible behaviour by the Argentinians.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Molina with a 7-match ban, £66,000 fine as well. Thiago Almada, 1-match ban, £22,000 fine. Spain's Gavi, the same for unsporting behaviour. Argentina coach Roberto Ayala, 3-match ban, £22,000 fine. The Argentine Football Association have been fined £235,000. I mean, reaction. That it's the right thing that they need to be fined. They need to be held accountable. I mean, financially, I don't think those numbers are denting the pockets of these players, if we're being completely honest. But the right decision here, and
Absolutely.
is that strong enough?
It was disgusting behaviour.
It's horrendous,
and it should have been iron fist attitude towards it, and it never happens again.
Yeah,
that can never happen again.
Your team are in action today at 12:30, which you can listen to live on talkSPORT. How are you feeling ahead of the new campaign?
I'm feeling all right. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster week. And Jamie Jackson in The Guardian has been talking about midfield revamp, leaving Carrick with no excuses. So at the beginning of the week, we were all talking about, has Michael Carrick been let down? Yuri Tielemans, 35 million from Villa, Andre Santos from Chelsea, around 48 million pounds. Good business, but United do need a fullback. They need a centre. I mean, every area of the pitch, you could say something.
But they've got a good spine, is what they're saying on the back page of The Sun. Carrick says his side have found a spine. There's still time until the window closes to get the signings in.
Carlos Balaba's arrival is expected imminently.
Has he ever used excuses, Michael Carrick?
No.
No. I would say it's never, for me, a manager that's come on and used one excuse after the other. He's never done that.
Yeah, I can't imagine that he will. I think that when you look at the signings that have come in, that's 3 midfielders now. And Jamie Jackson was actually writing that you have to probably go back to Michael Carrick's own transfer to Manchester United in 2006 to the last time that they brought in a good midfielder in his peak years. Because Paul Pogba may be his return, but that didn't work out. Everyone else has not been quite right. So it's exciting. And I think the question will be, has he been backed now? Because there are 3 midfielders coming in. There's a few other areas, but, that's what everybody wanted, midfield revamp. So fingers crossed.
Angelina, thank you very much for now. So Hull against Manchester United, you can listen to exclusively on talkSPORT. 12:30 kickoff for that one in the Premier League. Also over on talkSPORT 2, you've got an exclusive commentary of West Ham against Charlton. That's a 3 o'clock kickoff. You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good to have your company this Saturday morning. Katie and Kaz here with you. And up next, Kaz has a tale to tell in Cappuccino with Cascarino.
Spurs fans will be on salty crook. You're still bitter from the Europa League final. I just think they've overspent Tottenham. I think they've gone a bit mad in the market.
Talking of which, hello, Kate.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Kate. Oh, we've missed you, Kate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Good to speak to you, Sam.
Nice to speak to you.
What about me and Crookie, Kate?
Oh, Gabby, it's not fair. Nothing's fair. It's not fair.
That's a good accent, that is.
I have never heard in all my years of being a Tottenham fan such salty, crying, pathetic whining from Villa fans as I have at this moment. Your owners, Gabby, have got the opportunity to do what Tottenham have done. Why not build a big stadium? You've got, I think, as far as I know, you've got a piece of kind of parkland near Villa Park.
I like the heritage that Villa Park has got, to be honest.
Well, you can't have your
well,
cake
then
and
you're
eat
never
it.
going to be a big club. You can't have it all, Gabby.
I think Villa are a bigger club than Spurs. Come on, let's not get silly now.
I'm just laughing at you. You're so funny. We finished 17th and we made 187 million more revenue overall than you in 24-25.
That's because Beyonce loves to come to the Spurs Stadium for gigs.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how you make the money. It's about making the money.
I love Beyonce to come to Villa Park.
Aston Villa, by the way, did a load of concerts to try and raise revenue themselves. They did that, actually, over the course of the last couple of years, which is great for them.
I agree.
But they do need to invest in the infrastructure around Villa
course.
Park, which is going to take time. Do you have to just understand that that is going to be the case?
How's that? Next March, the England cricket team face Australia in the 150th anniversary Test match down under. And as always, the Barmy Army will be there. And thanks to talkSPORT and Visit Victoria, you could be too. Enter now at talksportwin.com for the chance to score an incredible week-long trip for two to watch the 150th anniversary Test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. Enter now at talksportwin.com and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers. The 150th anniversary Test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army.
A very good morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast. Funky little bit, this one. I like this one.
Yes, all
Katie
funky.
Shanahan here with you alongside former Celtic and Villa striker Tony Cascarino. So are you ready for a trip of a lifetime? We are sending you and a mate down under. Just imagine this, being in Melbourne next March, watching England take on Australia at the 150th Test match. And that is completely on us. Thanks to Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army, you and a mate could win the ultimate 7-night, all-inclusive trip to Melbourne. Wow. We are talking return flights, match tickets for all 5 days, an exclusive function with cricket legends, and a tour of the Great Ocean Road. For your chance to win, visit talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 1st of September this year. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or you can send your name and number by post to Comp2, PO Box 3190, Colchester CO2 8GP to arrive by midnight on the 4th of September. 18 plus, UK residents only. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. Okay, thanks very much for all your texts coming in this morning. He goes, morning, guys. If Coventry continue to defend like that, they'll be relegated in record time. Awful. Made it so easy for the Arsenal. That's from Billy in Kenilworth. We've also had here, good morning, guys. Here we go. Good morning. Coventry didn't even turn up last night. Arsenal won't have it that easy throughout the season, as we're getting your reaction to Arsenal's 3-0 win over Coventry last night as we kickstart the Premier League season. Okay, time now for this.
A cappuccino with Cascarino on the Weekend Sports Breakfast. I say.
Right.
Okay, so take it away, Cass.
Okay.
What story have you got?
Well, because it's the opening day of the season, I know the game was last night, but just generally for everybody, it's the opening game of the season in the Premier League. And on the way in, I was thinking about, what should I talk about? And I was thinking of, should I talk about the time of Millwall getting promoted to the old Division 1 for the very first time?
Oh, yes.
This is before the Premier League started, just before, not too many years before. And we got promoted at Hull in 87-88 season. First time ever Millwall made the top flight. And our opening game the next season. Now, we celebrated quite a lot. Now, remember, this is the 80s, late 80s, so teams did celebrate quite hard, and we did, because we had a pretty tight group at Millwall,
Okay,
great lads.
when we're talking about celebrations...
Well, we went out a lot, basically, and we had a great summer, and we came back, and we tried really hard. We came back, and we came back to this energy of now we got to prove ourselves in the top flight. We've all got to give it our all. We trained really, really hard in that summer, and we started our first game of the season at Aston Villa away in the 88-89 season. And Villa had got promoted as well with us that year. So Villa had come up, Millwall had gone up. And we played them away. And we went to Villa Park and we drew 2-2. I scored the first goal ever for Millwall in the top flight.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it's a great honour. I didn't have much over Sheringham, but that was one thing I did have. Because Teddy Sheringham was my playing partner at Millwall.
What was that feeling like, scoring that goal in that
just
moment?
Euphoria. Unbelievable. And Villa is a great club that I ended up playing for. You know, and a real great atmosphere. Millwall had a huge amount of fans that turned up in Birmingham for the game. And again, this is the late sort of 80s time. And we got a 2-2 draw. And we got back on the bus. We all get on the bus. And because we were such a tight-knit group, we're like, what we're doing when we get back to London? Should we go out on the Old Kent Road? Well, no, maybe, no, maybe not. A few of the lads are. So we ended up going to a nightclub, North Kent, called Hickories. Which weren't too
What
far
happens
from
in
where I
there?
live. Well, this is where it starts to go wrong.
Okay.
So I think
It's only 7:30 on a Saturday morning, Cass.
no, there's nothing too serious in it. There's nothing to all that about. But it's more the camaraderie and the lads and how tight unit we were. And so there was people like Terry Hurlock there. There was Keith Stevens, Alan McCleary. Some people won't know some of these names, but me, Sheringham, and many others. It was half the team there, okay? Because we were a tight group. And so we go to this nightclub and we have a really good fun night. We have a real laugh and we all getting a bit worse for wear. But I ordered a bottle of champagne. Now I think I'm Billy Big Time because I've made it. This is one of my issues because I sometimes wasn't the best pro, where I'd let myself go a bit at times. And
But you did that night.
I did. I ordered a bottle of champagne. It's
Are we talking a
so
Magna?
stereotype big.
Yeah.
No, just a bottle of champagne. And it was about 5 minutes before the bar shut.
Oh.
So I've ordered this bottle of champagne for the lads, and we're all laughing so much that night. It's so vivid in my mind about how fun a night it was. And I've ordered this bottle of champagne, and as I've ordered it, I've got the bottle, and I've got glasses out for a few of the players, poured it all out. And as I've done it, this bouncer's come up and he's gone to me, right, drink up, you've got to go.
Oh, no.
And I've said, I've just ordered it. I said, you can't do that. You can't just sell me a bottle of champagne. But bearing in mind so well, I've started arguing with this bouncer. I've done no more. He's literally hauled me out. I've been chucked out of the nightclub.
Did you at least finish your drink?
No, the half a bottle was left on the side.
No.
I've been chucked out. The lads are trying to calm me down. Nothing escalated beyond that. But that night was one of the funniest nights I've had in being part of a team, of being our first Premier. I said it wasn't a Premier League game; it was an old Division 1 game. How it panned out, me getting out of it. Of course, I got stick for years about me that particular night. I'd scored my first goal for Millwall in the top flight. I was like, that was always my reason, And it was. I look back and I've said this to many people. Look, the game is great today, and I love many parts of it. It wasn't as professional as it is now, but I tell you what, I feel I played in the best times of football, the 80s and 90s, which you had a life outside football. You can't do that now. There's no way you could go to clubs and enjoy yourself and after games. That wasn't the game in 1980s, late 80s, and into the 90s. It really changed more so with Wenger and beyond, and everyone became super professional. And it's right. It was right to do that. The game needed changing, but I'm glad I was part of that era as well.
What a lovely story. And I love that you're kind of a troublemaker.
Well, no, I wasn't a troublemaker. I didn't get nothing. No one got arrested. I wasn't in trouble. I just basically got my collar felt. Out you go. I remember standing outside the club and there's others coming out. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, that was a wonderful story. A little insight into your nightlife. You are listening to Weekend
I get chucked into clubs now, not out.
Yeah, go on in you go. Buy the champagne. You can buy me champagne anytime, Cass. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Volkswagen's Fire Plus promise is included when you purchase a selected vehicle. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Right, Katie and Cass with you this morning as we build up to the first Saturday of the Premier League season. Up next, we'll hear from Crystal Palace goalkeeper Dean Henson, who's been speaking to us exclusively here at talkSPORT. He tells me about making his World Cup debut with England over the summer, the changes under the new Palace manager and the club's ambitions for this season. That's coming up next.
Yeah, all right, boys, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. Good to have you on. What do you want to say?
I just want to say this stinky Arsenal chat from you boys this morning is nothing short of comical.
Go on.
Gabby saying that Arsenal should be winning the league with our spending. Well, both of you. You know, recruitment's a big part of it. Look at the likes of City, well, not City, but likes of Chelsea, United. They've spent loads of money. It's not a given that you're going to win the league. I think we've proven, the culture Arteta's built alongside getting the right recruitment, bringing Berta in. It's impressive.
Yeah.
So you don't think the money that you spent, you should be winning the Premier League?
I don't think it's got anything to do with the money. I think it's got to do with the quality.
You know what?
I think the quality of your squad is so good that you should be winning the league.
It costs a lot of money.
Definitely.
I agree. And that says more about the recruitment than just pure spending. Obviously, pure spending comes into it, but it doesn't mean that it's a given that we're going to win the league. Or I think we will win the league, but it isn't just as simple as saying we should be winning it. Arteta's not that good of a manager because of the spending.
Who said that?
Disagree with that. Well, that's what the sort of the signs I was getting from Gabby before. It was sort of like he should be winning the league.
No, when I'm saying you should win in the league, have you spent wisely? Yes, you have. Have you spent on players that have become fantastic players? Yes, you have. But you can't look at Arsenal's net spend over the last 6 years is nearly 800 million. You can't look at that and say, well, we shouldn't be winning the Premier League.
good morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast. Katie Shanahan with you this morning alongside Tony Cascarino. Now remember, talkSPORT is available to watch live in more places than ever before, including on Samsung TV Plus. So make sure you are tuning in to us there for your round-the-clock coverage of this weekend's Premier League season as we get underway. That's Samsung TV Plus for talkSPORT Plus. And all the sports you know and love, just go there to watch. Here are some of the headlines you're waking up to this Saturday morning. talkSPORT understands that Liverpool have seen a £60 million offer for Brighton's winger Yakuba Minte rejected. FIFA has banned Argentina midfielder Leandro Paredes for 10 matches. This is following his role in the post-World Cup final chaos that happened. And a decision on ending the 3 p.m. blackout could be made before the end of the season. That's according to Premier League CEO Richard Masters, who spoke to our chief football correspondent Alex Crook at the Premier League launch event.
It's not just us involved in the decision about Article 48, it's us, the EFL and the FA. And we've got to take that decision at some point in the future about whether things are going to change. It's not a decision for now. It's a decision we've got to make before the next set of domestic processes that the EFL and the Premier League are going to do. So I'd say about 18 months' time, we'll come back to that decision about whether Article 48 should remain or not.
The 3 p.m. blackout, Cass, where do you sit on this?
Well, football's being played all sorts of times now, isn't it? It's a really, really difficult one to answer. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think it's particularly relevant when it comes to the EFL.
Oh, the EFL. I'm a big fan of the EFL being played at times of 3 p.m. because I do think the Premier League can work around the EFL. Do you know what I mean? But because you have European football, I was talking about this last week, where, you know, if there's a Friday night game, it's great. It's no problem. If there's a Saturday game for the Premier League at 5:30 and maybe 8 o'clock it's okay. But the EFL needs to be protected some. We saw amazing crowds last week.
Yeah, we
in
did.
the EFL. And the reason is because there was very little Premier League football.
And it's great for them to have their moments. We have, them starting a week before the Premier League and also at Christmas, Boxing Day just gone.
Yeah,
they also have their moments. So I think we need these pockets of weekends for the EFL to really shine.
Yeah, and be a little bit protected. And look, the Premier League might argue that they don't really care two hoots about the EFL, but the pyramid of football, I think it's very good for the game if you can just have some sort of protection for teams to have bigger crowds, all that, their eyes are on them, we can all watch it and embrace it because it's a great product.
That's the thing. You want to make sure in the EFL, fans keep going to games. Of course they will, but you want to make sure the stadiums are full, you know, for as long as possible.
Well, they always moan about the World Cup and say, how bad of a look is it if in the World Cup finals there's empty seats?
Well, there certainly wasn't. I was there and it was filled with actually Americans wearing Argentina t-shirts.
It's always a better look with a stadium. And also, I do believe there's a massive audience for EFL football.
Absolutely. I love the EFL. Cover it most weekends. OK, time now to hear from someone who has won 3 trophies in 12 months and clinched a bronze medal with England at the World Cup. You got the name yet? It is England goalkeeper Dean Henderson. Yes, so we asked him how Crystal Palace are shaping up ahead of the new season under their new manager, Pierre Sarge. Dean Henderson told me that the team are ready to move on from the Oliver Glasner era. First of all, good to see you and congratulations on an amazing summer. You barely had time to put your feet up. A World Cup, a bronze medal, and now straight into another Premier League season. How would you sum up your summer?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, obviously, with the Conference League final, straight into the World Cup in America, and then a short little break, and then back to it, ready and raring to go, as you have to be. So, no, looking forward to it, and yeah, it's been crazy. No time to reflect, really, which is unfortunate, but I'm sure it'll be something I'll look back with fond memories in a few years to come.
Does playing at a World Cup change what you believe is possible for you in England now?
I know what I think is possible. I have done for many of years, but it's just it's more of a marathon than a sprint. You've got to be there, and you've got to keep going and keep working hard and wait for your opportunity, which I've been doing. But no, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future holds with England because. Yeah, I'm getting closer and closer, should I say.
Well, congratulations on an amazing summer. We'll move on to Crystal Palace then. How have preparations been for the upcoming campaign?
Short but sweet, should I say. Obviously, a lot of the boys only got back on Monday, and we've had a week, and obviously we'll have another week leading into Everton. But we had a great week in Germany. We had some good training sessions, and yeah, it's been nice, and getting the new manager's ideas on board and trying to put them into practice, which might take longer than expected, but there's no stress about that. We'll be looking forward, and we'll be ready for the weekend's game against Everton.
3 trophies in the last 12 months for Crystal Palace. Lots of change over the summer. Does this season feel like the start of a new chapter?
Yeah, of course. We've hit a chapter in a book under Oliver, and that chapter's closed now, so we'll hopefully write a very exciting chapter under Pierre, and we're excited for that. It's new beginnings, and a new journey we're going to go on together, and we're all excited to go on that journey together, and ultimately we'll all give the best for the football club.
Let's talk about the new manager then. How different has pre-season felt under Pierre Sarge?
Yeah, it's different. Training sessions are very good, intense but short, and the lads are really enjoying it. But obviously the group's been a bit detached, should I say, with people coming back from the World Cup, and it's been difficult to get that consistency throughout pre-season. So pre-season's obviously been underwhelming, but through no fault of the manager or the players that have been there. It's obviously we've had a lot of young boys and a lot of young lads, which obviously it's great for them to get the opportunity, but it's probably not the squad of players that's going to be going into the Premier League season. So you can't really look into pre-season too much, and ultimately it starts next week, and that's what we're looking forward to.
What's the biggest thing he's changed since walking through the door?
He's on top of people being late and not turning up on time. That'll be something that might catch a couple of players out throughout the season. But
not you then. Not you. You're never late. No.
I've been late a couple of times in London traffic. I tell you that for free. Sometimes like the London roads are crazy, so I'll be setting off 3 hours before training. It only takes me 20 minutes just in case. I believe that no one's been late since he's brought his timings into play. So hopefully that can continue.
Yeah, everyone's going to be terrified to be late then. So it's worked. His changes have automatically worked. Yeah,
the fear factor's worked. So no, it's been good.
I believe he wants to build properly from the back. So as a goalkeeper, how different are the demands on you, I suppose, compared to Oliver Glasner? You'll probably know in the first couple of games, but from early thoughts, what's he kind of said to you in your role?
Yeah, completely different, to be fair. Completely different in that sense. But something I'm really get excited for. Really get excited for. It's something I want to do at a club level. So it gives me that opportunity to take a bit of responsibility. Obviously, it starts with me, and I choose when's good to play, when not to play, and game management, everything comes into play. So it's a big responsibility for the back players. Obviously exciting, and we can have all as a team doing it.
You've lost an important defender in Maxence Lacroix. How big a miss is he going to be, and how the defence is shaping up this season?
It'll be a big miss. I believe he hasn't been replaced yet, so hopefully we'll get a replacement in, and hopefully we won't miss him too much, which I'm sure the club will probably try that we don't miss him. Obviously he's been a great guy, and he did so much for the football club, and I wish him all the best. He's a great friend and always will be. So I wish him well, and hopefully we can get a good replacement.
You've got domestic football in Europe again this season. So what lessons were learned from that fabulous winning campaign that will help this time around?
It's all about balancing, and we'll have a bigger squad this season. So I think we'll be able to manage the Premier League and the Europa League better. But ultimately, we can't take our eye off the Premier League as well. I think we got away with it last season.
As we look ahead to the upcoming campaign, is just staying comfortable in the Premier League enough now for Crystal Palace? Obviously, you guys are super successful. I suppose the group has changed the expectations within the fan base.
Obviously, the extra game sort of killed us last season, and it was new for a lot of people. It was new for the group of players. Not a lot of lads had done it before, and we had a thin squad. When we lost players, it obviously hurt us a lot. Like, it hurt us all that Christmas period. So, hopefully that doesn't happen this season. But yeah, of course, we need to, as I said, we need to break in the top 2. I think that should be the goal for the next few seasons.
Really enjoyed doing that interview with Dean Henderson.
Yeah.
He was smiling throughout the whole of the interview. He's got a great sense of humour too. Certainly not going to be late for any of these Crystal Palace sessions. But Dean Henderson, let's talk about England, because he made his World Cup debut during the summer, and you feel as though he's got that drive to kind of push Jordan Pickford for that number 1 spot.
Well, what is he now, 29? I think 29-year-old. I mean, I saw him at Sheffield United, and he done brilliantly well for them. I think that's the second most games he's played for anybody was at Sheffield. Obviously, he's played more for Palace. But a terrific goalkeeper. I know Chris Wilder felt he was really top level, really top goalkeeper. Didn't quite work out at Manchester United for him. But one thing he has done, and I give him and this is something I'm seeing a little bit more often now, is that he was prepared to leave a big club to go and play football. And that's what he did, leaving Manchester United to go and forge his own career. And he's been rewarded with being, an England squad player. Will he be the one that takes over Pickford? He's going to be close. It's going to be, him and Trafford, I think, is probably the next few years. But look, Pickford's still there.
Yeah. And just quickly about Crystal Palace's upcoming season. Obviously, they've got a new manager in charge.
Yeah.
Sarge. Got a big job on his hands, Europa League. In terms of the window, Maxence Lacroix has gone and left to Chelsea. You got Dwight McNeil coming in. Interesting for the game today, Crystal Palace against Everton. You got Brennan Johnson and Dwight McNeil literally swapping clubs and then coming up against each other. So Crystal Palace, in terms of their ambitions, the signings they've made, what can people expect?
Well, they normally are not. They're quite redundant in the transfer market and compared to others around them, but they've still got a core of players, whether that's, Walton's still there, Kamada, Mitchell, Sarr, Strand Larson, Mateta. McNeil coming in's a big plus because it obviously didn't work out for Brennan Johnson. So there's still a big core of players there at Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace against Everton is the game today that's happening in the Premier League. A kick-off of 3 o'clock. Who are you going with?
I'd side on Everton today.
Okay, today. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Volkswagen's 5 Plus promise is included when you purchase a selected vehicle. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Right, more Premier League chat on the way next. We'll also get into West Ham, who play Charlton, which is live on talkSPORT 2. Good morning.
Danny, when you look at it, United in that fairly congested midfield area, say Baliba comes through the door, Tielemans is there, Santos, Mainu, Bruno Fernandes. Well, it's going to be a mighty old force in midfield, is it not?
It looks a very strong group of players, all giving little different parts of what you want. A far cry, really, from what we've seen over the last couple of years. United struggling in midfield areas. And I think we're talking about one of the biggest clubs in the world. They'll be looking to try and compete for the Premier League and the Champions League in the next couple of years. Of course they will. That's the aim of a club like Manchester United. So you need at least 5, when you think about it, in the middle of the park who are going to be pushing each other, especially if they play a 3. Bruno's probably the one standout, you say, in all the big games he's going to play. Yeah. He's got great durability anyway, and he's the match, the game changer, the match winner, the creative force, the goals. I would imagine for me, out of the others, Santos, Baliba, both young lads, both got more to come. Tielemans is more rounded, more ready to take that on. I think Tielemans has
Where's it leave Menu? A lot of people asking me to ask you that. Well, and what's your ideal starting 3?
I think that would depend a lot on where they're at when they come in and how they adapt to the pressure and expectation of being at Man United, because that's never easy. I think initially he might go Tielemans, Bruno and Mainu, because Mainu knows what the manager wants already. I think Baliba will become one of the main men.
How's that? Next March, the England cricket team face Australia in the 150th anniversary test match down under. And as always, the Barmy Army will be there. And thanks to talkSPORT and Visit Victoria, you could be too. Enter now at talksportwin.com for the chance to score an incredible week-long trip for two to watch the 150th anniversary test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. Enter now at talksportwin.com and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers.
Good morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Katie Shanahan with you alongside Millwall Hall of Famer Tony Cascarino. For everyone heading to the Den today, Tony will actually be there. So make sure you're nice to him and give him a lovely welcome, as I'm sure you always do. I love Millwall.
Well,
one of my first clubs I ended up reporting on.
Right.
Home and away. I was on the train with all the away Millwall fans, and then so it's always got a little place in my heart. And then I hosted the end of season awards.
Well, I'm a little bit nervous today because Norwich went and won at Millwall towards the end of last season and played really well. They won 2-1, but they looked a really good side that day. So, and that was really when Millwall looked like they were going to get automatic promotion, and they didn't quite get over the line, obviously.
Yeah. Well, talking of the upcoming campaign, the Predict 6 game is back for you ahead of the new Premier League season, and it's your chance to win big. Here's talkSPORT's Gabby Bonhor and Laura Kirk-Francis to explain more.
talkSPORT's Predict 6 is back, where you can make 6 selections, all for a chance to win a massive £50,000, all for free. I'm here with Gabby Agbonlahor, who is going to take us through how this works. Are you ready?
Looking forward to it.
Are you ready? So first up, I need you to choose 2 teams to win from this list of games. So your options are Everton versus Crystal Palace. Then we have Ipswich versus Sunderland, Nottingham Forest versus Leeds, and then Brighton versus your beloved Aston Villa. I need 2 winners.
Okay, first game I'm going to go with is I think Everton beat Crystal Palace 2-0. Home game for Everton, first game of the season at home, positive result for them. And my second one, I'm going to go for the mighty Aston Villa to beat Brighton and Hove Albion 3-1.
Very nice. Okay, so you've gone with Villa and Everton there. Next up, I need a correct score. Brentford versus Spurs.
Oh, okay. Brentford versus Spurs. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw.
Give me the draw, okay. Same question for Newcastle versus Liverpool. Very tasty one to start the weekend off with.
Okay, Newcastle versus Liverpool. I'm probably going to go for a 3-1 win for Liverpool.
3-1?
Yeah, Newcastle in a bit of a trouble.
You remember this game last year?
I do. Was that Inga Moa scored the winner?
Indeed, yes.
Good memory, Gabby.
Good memory for you, yeah. And then finally, Monday night, Chelsea travel to Fulham, the West London derby. I need, kind of West London derby if you can call it that, I need the correct score and the first goal scorer.
Okay, correct score, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Chelsea. And first goal scorer, I'm going to go for João Pedro.
João Pedro. And a win for Chelsea.
Yes, of course.
Okay then. So there you have it. 6 selections, and that could land you a whopping £50,000. To participate, you just need to go to talksport.com/predict6.
Thanks, Laura and Gabby. What are you humming about there?
Can Gabby win the 50 grand?
I'm sure if he could, he'd be applying. Right, that was the Predict 6 game on talksport.com. It's 18 plus and T's and C's. Right, we are building up to a huge day of football in both the Premier League and the EFL. And I'm very happy to say we are joined by talkSPORT commentator Joe Shannon on the line. Joe, how are you doing this morning?
Hi, Joe.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, really well. Really excited for the start of the new Premier League season. And, of course, all that the EFL has got to offer as well. Been a brilliant couple of weeks. So we're right back into it. Here we go again.
We certainly are. And you're going to be on duty for the London derby on talkSPORT 2, Charlton against West Ham. But let's talk about last night, the opening game of the Premier League. Arsenal beating Coventry by 3-0. I mean, Joe, a really dominant display, wasn't it, by the reigning champions?
Yes, I thought they were very good, and I'm particularly interested to hear Cass's thoughts on both Christos Zolis and Martin Odegaard, who for me were the two key players for Arsenal last night. I mean, you look at Odegaard and already seems to be on a bit of resurgence this season, only scored once in the whole of last year. 2 goals already to start the new campaign, scored in the Community Shield, of course, scored last night. Yes, of course, it's a miss-hit. The goalkeeper should probably save it, but I thought his overall performance was excellent, as was the performance of Zolis, who, you know, in some ways is a good old-fashioned winger, galloping down that left-hand side, and whether he puts the cross in early from the outside or whether he cuts in to the inside position, he looks a real threat. So, look, is anybody surprised that Arsenal have won that game? I don't think particularly so. Is anybody surprised they've won it 3-0? Probably not a great deal of surprise about that. But I thought the manner of the performance was encouraging. And as I say, I thought the two standout players really showed something for Arsenal last night.
Yeah, they did, Joe. And look, Odegaard had injuries last year, and he's been blighted by injuries really over the last couple of seasons. And on form, Odegaard is another issue. He's a top footballer. And like he can make things happen so quickly. So it's a big, good thumbs up to him. And Solis, as you mentioned, the thing I like about him, Joe, he'd go either way. He'll go on his left side or his right, and he'll jink one way. You know, like Pedro at Chelsea would do that. Neto at Chelsea that would do that. You never quite knew which way he'd go. And I think Solis is a little bit like that.
Yeah, there's an unpredictability about him, isn't there? And there's an exciting unpredictability about him. I mean, it's obviously a position that Arsenal have wanted to strengthen. We know that Trossard has gone. We know that Martinelli will go if the right offer comes in. So, you know, you're looking at somebody not only to come in and fill that void, but to step up in the Premier League straight away, which we know is not easy. But I thought he really showed signs of being able to do that yesterday. Some of the combination play with Calafiori was really impressive. Calafiori, who is going to be an important figure for Arsenal going forward this season because of the unconventional positions that he takes up in the final third, the inverted role that he often plays. So I thought there was a really good sign of an emerging partnership, even in the early days of this season. And, you know, unfortunately for Coventry, they were on the wrong end of it.
Joe, Brentford against Spurs is the 5:30 game today. Spurs need a good start here, especially after spending so much this summer.
It's extraordinary. I mean, when I saw the price tag for Savinho last night, you know, I have to admit I was somewhat bowled over by that. But, you know, such is the way of football nowadays. A player who made, I think, 7 league starts under Pep Guardiola last season now costs potentially as much as £85 million, but you know, budget's a budget. The market is the market, and that's what Tottenham have obviously paid. They've obviously really beefed up the squad, and I think if you look at who has left Tottenham over the course of the summer, and I even include Christian Romero in this, I don't think there'll be too many Spurs fans who are mourning the loss of the players who have gone. Those who have come in are a good crop, a good complement, and now it's up to Roberto De Zerbi, very capable manager that he is, to get them going. Tough assignment on the first weekend of the season, though. You know, you go to Brentford, who had a fantastic season last year, and the big question under Keith Andrews is, can they keep it going for a second season under him? You know, that will be fascinating to see. So I think, again, this is a really interesting early marker for both teams.
And very briefly, Joe, you're at West Ham against Charlton. West Ham today could actually set the championship attendance record for over 62,000 in a sellout against Charlton. How do you see this game playing out? Can Charlton stop West Ham?
Well, there's pressure on West Ham, and there'll be pressure on West Ham every game this season. You know, they're the team to beat. They're the team who are the target for every side in the Championship. 62,500 is incredible, and I think it's really important they start winning games and getting those supporters on side. And if they do, they could be an unstoppable force in the Championship. But as we saw against Burnley last weekend, they are not infallible. And Charlton under Nathan Jones will battle. It's a London derby, so anything can happen.
Joe, thank you so much for your time today and look forward to hearing your commentary. West Ham against Charlton, 3 o'clock kickoff in the Championship, exclusively for you on talkSPORT 2. And then talkSPORT exclusive will be Hull against Manchester United in the Premier League, 12:30 kickoff for that one. Right, up next, we'll hear the latest from the Leeds boss, Daniel Farke, who spoke exclusively to talkSPORT ahead of this Premier League Saturday weekend. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast with Katie and Cass this morning here on talkSPORT. A very good morning.
For the record, we've had 7 different Premier League winners.
Over 33 years, over 34 years.
But this time...
Wow.
But this time, Simon, do you not agree that this is probably the most competitive ever Premier League season on the horizon?
For participation, not for winning. You're going to be one of the 4 clubs that has the biggest turnovers is going to win the league. Aston Villa are not going to win the league. Newcastle are not going to win the league.
So how do you explain Leicester when they did it?
A rare and absolute anomaly that was never allowed to happen again because all the big clubs sat on their hands, suddenly decided that they could all do things in a certain way, and they got caught with their pants down, even to the way that they allowed Leicester to play. Everybody knew how Leicester played. Drinkwater gets the ball, looks up, knocks it long for Vardy, and yet on the last game of the season they were doing the same thing, and teams were still playing the same way against them. So don't ask me how I explain that situation, but it's not going to be repeated, and it hasn't been repeated since, and that was now a decade ago. So who's won the league since then, and who won the league prior to that?
So tell me straight, how many teams this time around do you feel can aspire to win the Premier League?
2, 3? But that doesn't mean the league's not competitive. The argument, why would you suggest that governance needs to be brought in to the most successful league that has been the commercially most successful league in the history of football? Why are you regulating it? What are you regulating it from? I understand what he's saying is that the Premier League clubs want some degree of control. They want governance. Yeah, they want good disciplines. They want good governance. They want good regulation. Is your regulation with the consequences of the way that clubs are suing one another now, the way that they're suing, the way that Man City have been hauled over the coals and been sat in abeyance for 2 years because you can't prosecute them properly, is that good governance and good regulation? Because to me, it doesn't look like it.
Over the years, we've been treated to some amazing exhibition events in sports. Some become iconic, but many fail to live up to the hype. So what are some of the most anticlimactic exhibitions? Technically, it wasn't an exhibition because it ended up being sanctioned as a pro fight, but it basically was. 2024 saw Mike Tyson return to the ring to fight YouTuber Jake Paul. The event, which Paul won, was streamed by 65 million people on Netflix, making it the most streamed sporting event ever at the time. But many complained of buffering and freezing. And as for the fight itself, well, it was considered an entertaining disaster. I mean, it wasn't prime Tyson, he was 58, and after the fight, Paul, who was 27 at the time, said he'd actually gone easy on Tyson towards the end. Now, Mayweather-McGregor in 2017 was a better watch, despite Mayweather going rope-a-dope early on, but it was way too expensive. Pay-per-view was 75 quid, and in the stadium, The cheapest ticket was over $370. Now, this next one you could have watched for free, only because the pay-per-view had streaming issues, so they had to open it out. I'm talking about Tiger versus Phil in 2018, which was nicknamed The Match. Massive names and massive rivals going head-to-head. On paper, it worked. In reality, it didn't. The two players were mic'd up, so we all thought we'll get fascinating insight. We'll be able to hear them insult each other for 18 holes. But what we actually got was more heavy breathing and sniffles. And for two GOATs, the golf itself was bang average. And speaking of GOATs, let's end with Messi and Ronaldo. In 2023, an exhibition between PSG and the Riyadh All-Star 11 saw them share a pitch for possibly the final time. To be fair, it was a goal fest, which PSG won 5-4, and Messi and Ronaldo both scored. But it was obvious they were past their prime. El Clasico, this was not. And with it being in Saudi, there were more sports washing claims. So there you have it, exhibitions that have let us down. And I didn't even have time to mention the Community Shield.
You're listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast, which is live on YouTube and you're on your smart TV and, of course, your radio too. Katie Shanahan here with you, alongside former Millwall and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
It's finally here, the return of the Premier League. The defending champions Arsenal got underway, beating New Boys Coventry 3-0 last night, live on talkSPORT. We'll build up to all of the action this weekend. Will Spurs' summer signing shine against Brentford? Or will Oliver Glasner's City Ground debut end in victory as Nottingham Forest take on Leeds? And can Hull provide an early season shock as they take on Manchester United, which is exclusively live on talkSPORT?
Of course, I'm aware that it's a very big gap between Championship and Premier League. We know that, but also still this is football. We will try to make a difficult game for Man United. Of course, they are favourites, and I can't wait.
We'll also be joined by a former Hull City manager later on in the show, ahead of that 12:30 kickoff. And we'll also hear exclusive interviews with some of the best players and managers in the league ahead of another brilliant season of football. You can text us 81089 or drop us a WhatsApp or call this number 03717 223344. We'd love for you guys to get involved in the show. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Right, Casper, 2 hours into the show. We've had so many lovely messages. Thanks so much for everyone texting into the show, 81089. We've had this message here. Hello, guys. Alfie here. I'm loving the show this morning, helping me get through the morning of work on the golf course as a greenskeeper.
Make the most of it, because now we're coming into nearly September and the days are getting shorter again. Get your golf out there, because we started at 6 this morning, and by sort of 6:30 I was thinking, beautiful day, get on that golf course.
We've also had this from John Webster. Good morning, John. He goes, Katie and Tony, good morning. Can't quite afford the champagne that Cass was speaking about earlier on, when you got a very nice round of drinks for your Millwall colleagues. But what drink would you suggest to have? He's asking here for Hull against Manchester United at home. Not quite feeling the cappuccino for that one.
No, look, it's a great opportunity for Hull City, back in the top flight. To play a club in the stature of Manchester United in their opening game. It's a bit like Coventry last night, where, OK, they lost 3-0, but a great opening fixture.
Yeah. Someone said here, Simon, the Hull City fan, says, I think Hull City will surprise a few people this season. We may not have the big names, but we have young and hungry players, a fantastic team spirit, and never say die attitude. It's going to be a great ride for the fans. So let's strap in and ride the roller coaster. That's from Simon, the Hull City fan.
Yeah, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of just saying they're going to be that bad. Of course, it's going to be difficult for them. But, you know, there is teams that have individuals within that side that are going to prove a point and make a statement. Can Hull City do that?
Yeah. Okay, let's get more reaction ahead of the Premier League campaign. Let's talk about Leeds, because after a fantastic second half of the season that saw them stay up in the Premier League, they've had a busy summer window bringing in the likes of James Trafford and Harry Wilson. Can they better last season's 14th place finish? Well, ahead of the game against Nottingham Forest, I spoke to Leeds boss Daniel Farker, who told me that his side must stay humble in order to compete in the Premier League.
We still have to stay humble. The second season after promotion is very often also difficult. So it's important that we don't lose the focus, that we don't lose the basics, the focus on the basics, that we still work further on, fully committed on our fitness level, that we still put the side before ourselves, just individuals. And also it's important that we don't lose the feet under our ground, because it's pretty often that then you dream too often too big anyhow. So I will make sure that everyone stays grounded.
You've said there are still some obvious positions that you'd like to strengthen. How much work is there to do in your mind before the window closes?
Yes, we have to work tirelessly until the end. This is what this club deserves. This is what the supporters deserve. And for that, we have to look under each every stone if there is a possibility to improve the squad. This is what we're trying to do. Still in a sustainable way. We won't do anything crazy. We are not a club who can spend fortunes anyhow, and we can't waste any money. So if we do a record signing, then everyone has to be convinced, like with James Trafford, where everyone was 100% convinced that he could be a solution also on the long term on the goalkeeper position. And for that, yes, we have to be perhaps sometimes even a bit more creative than other clubs who can spend millions just on a project. We can't afford to do this, but that we still want to strengthen this group of players, there's no secret. And for that, we'll stay awake till the end of the window, yes.
How have you used this summer to evolve as a manager? Do you feel you're a different Premier League manager now to the one that first arrived in the division?
Yes, first of all, I've used the summer to recharge. If I'm honest, after a long season was much needed. So I need also a bit time off and a bit time relaxed at home and on the sofa and with some sun and also some nice beach holidays. So it was also important to save some and recharge and get the energy back and fuel the energy tank. Yes, but on the other hand, also like to reflect the last season and to analyze. And I'm always looking forward to be ahead of the wave. And if you think right now I know everything about football and can explain how football works, this is a moment you become a dinosaur and you're not good enough for this level anymore. You have to evolve. You have to improve each every day. This is what I try during my whole career, and I will also try in the future.
Nottingham Forest away is your first game in the Premier League. When you've had a summer of preparation, how hungry are you and the team to get off to a strong start?
Yes, the players are excited. Our supporters are excited. The whole club is excited. The manager is never excited. The manager is always nervous and concentrated on picking the right players and being there with the right tactics and being there with the right decisions. So the time of excitement, the most exciting time was as a player, is always the best time, because then you just can enjoy playing football and enjoy that the season starts as a manager. You're a bit more concerned that all your decisions are spot on. So for that, excitement is a bit the wrong word. For my mindset heading into this season, I'm more concentrated, focused, and I of course hope also for a good start. Yes.
So this time next May, what would make you look back and say that was a successful season for Leeds United?
If I can say that out of our potential and out of what we can offer, we have made the best out of it, and we were also effective enough in order to reward ourselves with the best possible outcome. It's difficult to predict right now in the beginning of the season what this best possible outcome will be. I just want that we all can look in the mirror and have said, listen, we have given really everything. There's not one piece of energy back in the tank. and we have made the best out of our skills and out of our potential. And if we can say this and are proud of what we have achieved, then it was definitely a good season, regardless of which position it in the end will be.
And finally from me, for Leeds fans listening to talkSPORT right now, how excited should they be for the upcoming season?
Yes, of course, if our supporters wouldn't be excited, then there would be a problem. So this club is in a really good position. Since 25 years, we are looking forward to establish us back on Premier League level. Once we were pretty close after a good first season under Marcelo a few years ago. Yeah, but sadly we missed out on building on this. And right now it's just the second time that we have the opportunity, and we want to do better than a few years ago. We want right now to back a good first season back on Premier League level with another good season, and then step by step also to improve our position. And for that, exciting times, and our supporters should look forward to it, should be excited, should dream big and think big. I just will make sure that the players are not too big time and stay humble and grounded. And if we find this balance, excitement of our supporters and really hard work from all my players and all my staff members, then we're definitely on a good path.
Really enjoyed speaking to Daniel Farke, the Leeds boss there, ahead of the new campaign. He's staying quite humble.
Yeah.
He's trying to make sure his players keep their feet on the ground. But in terms of Daniel Farke, he's come a long way, hasn't he? He's had to prove a lot of people wrong.
He won over the Leeds fans. He went into last season with a lot of negativity towards him, whether we should have been the manager. Look, we all know that they turned it around at Man City away even though they lost the game, they were 3-0 down and got it back to 3-2, and they were a completely different team towards the end of last season. But with players like Ethan Ampadu, I would argue, I thought Brendan Aronson done really well. Then you've got Calvert-Lewin, Harry Wilson coming in.
James Trafford,
record buy for them, £40 million. So there's a lot of good things happening at Leeds. I think they'll be fine this year, Leeds United.
Yeah. Do you think they can establish themselves as a Premier League club?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they got the infrastructure there now, and a lot of good players. I mean, Goodmanson, I think he's out injured today, but again, a player I like. Got some good players, Leeds. Done really well in the market.
Okay, well, Leeds against Nottingham Forest, 3:00 kickoff, which Adrian Durham will be bouncing around the ground, so he'll keep you updated with that one. Okay, coming up next, we've got the latest odds with Coral, and still to come, we've got more predictions from this week with Cascarino yes and Cascarino no coming up. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast with Katie and Cass here this Saturday morning on talkSPORT. Good morning.
We're due to talk about Spurs now. O'Hara was meant to be here, Jason Cundy, but apparently he's bottled his chance to plug your show. What? If you're not watching but listening, you've put on a Jamie O'Hara mask. Is that a new thing? I mean, that's quite horrific.
I don't know what it looks like. How does it look?
What do you think it looks like?
No, I can't see myself. Does it look like O'Hara?
Have a look at the monitor.
Every time I do that, I turn away.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it looks ghastly, and I never use that word. Yeah. Have you put it on before?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I've worn it before.
It's
so
vile.
weird. It's so weird.
Yeah. So do you want to pretend he's here?
I can pretend he's here.
Okay.
Yeah. Shambles. Shambles.
Good team. Why is he not here? I heard he stormed out the studio again yesterday.
Last
He keeps
night,
storming out.
honestly.
Soon it's going to be more of a shock if he stays.
I talk about Spurs.
Take the mask off, for God's sake. Yeah.
Honestly, when we talk...
Oh, put it back, put it back.
Put it on. I love getting into him about Spurs. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. And he was saying if they buy Savinho and Mamouche, they're guaranteed top four, top two. And I'm like, come on, mate, come on. The Ange mask will come out, and it just grew legs and arms. The thing, and it just exploded.
You got many more masks?
No, yeah, we've got Benty mask.
Have you?
No, we don't. No.
Don't wear him in a bank.
Do you know what happened though? Here's what happened with the Ange mask. We bought it last season when he took over at Forest, and we ordered it from I think South America. By the time the mask turned up, he'd been sacked.
match, the England cricket team face Australia in the 150th anniversary Test match down under. And as always, the Barmy Army will be there. Thanks to talkSPORT, Visit Victoria could be too. Enter now at talksportwin.com for the chance to score an incredible week-long trip for two to watch the 150th anniversary Test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. Enter now at talksportwin.com and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers.
Listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast with me, Katie Shanahan, alongside former Chelsea and Celtic striker Tony Cascarino. You're smiling, you know this song very well.
Well, it's a Chelsea run they come on to, isn't it? The team come out.
Yes, this is obviously the famous Liquidator. The reason we are playing this one today is because of a story in the papers. The Wolves, who famously played this song at Molineux, in fact, are actually set to ban the pre-match anthem as it encourages swearing. Is that the right thing to do? Or can we just sit back? I think it sounds quite peaceful.
What about the other 90 minutes during the game? Can they?
No swearing in football. That will never happen. What's the best pre-match anthem in football? North London Forever? I'll never walk alone.
I'm obviously going to say that. What were you going to say?
North London Forever.
Yeah.
You're going to say You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yeah.
That's a pretty strong one.
Yeah.
They're both pretty strong. Yeah. Okay, time now to get the latest odds with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
And for the first time, I'm saying a very good morning to Simon Clare. How are you doing, Simon?
Yeah, I'm in good form, Katie. Good form. Good to see you, Cass.
Yeah.
Opening day of the Premier League, first Saturday Premier League season.
Simon, are they 1-10 on now, Arsenal?
Do you know what? One thing is mad. They have shortened. They were 6-5 before last night's game. They're now even money. So it's very rare that after one game does the team shorten the Premier League. But yes, they're even shorter after that blistering start to the season.
Well, run us through the odds then in terms of the Premier League. Hull against Manchester United is the game on talkSPORT. Let's start there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know it's going to be a tough season for Hull. I heard some supporters coming on, looking forward to the roller coaster ride. They're 1-6 to be relegated, the shortest price of all the teams. They're also 1-6 to, they're Man United 1-3 to win today away to Hull. Hull is 7-2 to go off to a winning start and 4 on the draw. So I think it's going to be tough for them. But there's no question that these promoted sides, often that first fixture or two, when they really are up for it, there's always a chance they can pull off some decent performances. So it'll be very interesting to see Michael Carrick's first game of a full season as well. Cass, they have strengthened. So are you expecting United to do well this season?
Yeah, I think they'll do. I think they'll do really well. I still think the last part of their team is the back line, just improving that slightly. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit like Coventry last night. Hull have taken on the club of Manchester United in their opening game. It's a great fixture for the fans.
Yeah.
It really is. Tell us, because I was looking at prices earlier. I'm more interested in Spurs going to Brentford. I know it's a 5:30 game, but I keep thinking this is a tough opener for Spurs.
Yeah, it is indeed, isn't it? I mean, plenty of people expecting Brentford to do quite well this season. I mean, looking at their prospects, Brentford are 6-1 for a top 6 finish. Compare that to Spurs, though, who are even money for a top 6 and just 130 for a top 4. The huge transfer activity, bringing in these players like Savinho, etc. A lot of people expecting a much improved season from Spurs, but it's a tough opener. It's 11-10 Brentford, favourites at home, 9-4 Spurs, 5-2 the draw. an early sighter to see whether this Spurs, completely revised side can get the season off to a good start. So a cracking opener, really, up there in London.
Simon, what about Ipswich against Sunderland? Newly promoted Ipswich under Gary O'Neill up against Sunderland, who are, I suppose, trying to prove that last season's remarkable 7th place finish wasn't a one-off.
Absolutely, you've got to try and back up the great season. Sunderland, Ipswich, obviously helped with the news that Alan Brazil has got 2 season tickets for every game. He's going to be there today and planning to be there for the most games, which should be impressive.
Good.
But look, it's a great opening fixture because they're 7-4 each of 2. We can't split them in the betting. Ipswich obviously having home advantage. Sunderland, a first season under their belt in the Premier League, 7-4 each of 2, 9-4 the draw. Great fixture for both sides.
I didn't ask you after Coventry's loss last night. Does it change anything in the relegation battle?
Not too. They've shortened a tad, yes. They're 8-11 to go down. They were 4-5. Ipswich, third favourites behind Hull and Coventry at 10-11. And then you got the likes of Sunderland, who are 7-2. Obviously, they play today. And then Fulham, Palace and Leeds, 5-1, 6-1 and 7-1. So, the promoted sides are certainly the favourites now for relegation.
What about Nottingham Forest against Leeds, Simon?
Again, 2 sides in the relegation betting. Leeds are 7-1 for relegation. Forest 11-1. We make Forest favourites 5-4 at home, 9-4 the draw, 2-1 Leeds. So home advantage favouring them. But both sides, I think we're looking at it betting wise, are more likely to be fighting it out at the bottom of the table than the top. And again, an early sight to see how their seasons will get up to a start respectively.
Simon, racing today. The big one is at York at Ebor. Willie Mullins got the. Well, I say the favourite because it's quite an open field, but Love Me Tender.
Brilliantly named horse, isn't it? Love Me Tender. Great Elvis Presley song, probably from the 60s, I'm guessing.
Yes,
but 9-2, Willie Mullins, the crack jump trainer from Ireland, but he's very good with his flat horses too. 9-2 favourite. Amit and Klaas Lander are both 32. Willie Mullins also has Mr. Hollywood as the second string with Safi Osborne on board. So very competitive race there. And the Group 1 is the City of York, actually, which has a Godolphin horse's favourite, Notable Speech. But the second favourite, Cass, you've got to be back in this one, 10 Bob Tony.
Yes, I am 10 Bob Tony. Well, I was called 2 Bob Tony.
That's right. There's inflation since you played, though, so now it's 10 Bob.
I know. For the older listeners, they'll get the 2 Bob.
He will. He's a really good horse. So he won the Queen Anne Group 1 at Royal Ascot. Was 4th in the Sussex Stakes. Ultra consistent, just like you, Cass. Just like you. 10 Bob Tony, high class, always turns up. And he's got a really good chance to Temple Toe. So let's hope he goes.
Simon, just before we let you go, the odds for the sprint race at the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah, listen, George Russell's on pole. He's 4-6 to win it with Norris 2-1 second favourite. There's also qualifying today for which Antonelli, who didn't perform so well in the qualifying for the sprint, but he's favourite for qualifying. And I should just throw in some odds actually for Yoga heading down to the Den cast to Millwall.
Yeah,
they're 7-5 favourites to beat Norwich. Just about though. Norwich are 15-8. And I did just call. Looking at the betting, they actually had a great season last year, didn't they, Millwall? They're 5-1 for promotion. I don't know what you think of their prospects this year, Cass.
Millwall? Yeah, I'm hopeful. I look, they're great result in the opening game. Bristol City away, Colburn scoring, getting a brace. Yeah, absolutely. I just, if they can replicate what they did last year and get to the playoffs and maybe automatic. I said earlier to Katie, Millwall were in great chance last year of automatic, and Norwich were the team that sort of derailed them, sort of took them off, and obviously then Millwall made the playoffs. But yeah, hopefully, keep fingers crossed, they'll go really well.
Well, my daughter's university student is actually working her first shift at the Den in a box today. So, Cass, if you're in a box and it happens to be Eloise looking after you, tip her well. And if anyone listening's in a box with Eloise, the more money she gets tipped, the less I have to sub her for her nights out at the weekend.
I've finished playing.
She'll
tip me. Down there.
Simon Clare, Bank of Dud. Thank you so much.
Cheers, guys.
Have a lovely day. That was Simon Clare there.
By the way, quick one.
The latest odds. Go on.
2 Bob. Right?
Yeah.
In the old shillings is now that's 10p.
10p. That was you.
Yeah. 2 Bob.
2 Bob.
10p.
2 Bob, Tony. Right, that was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+. BeGambleAware.org. Please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+, gambleaware.org.
Okay, well, coming up next, we'll be joined by a former Hull City manager ahead of their lunchtime kickoff against Manchester United, which you can listen to on talkSPORT. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast with Katie and Cass this morning. Good to have you company as we get you ready for the Premier League weekend, a big Saturday on the way. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Get complete peace of mind with Volkswagen's 5+ promise. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
You finished 9th. Yep. You come on talkSPORT and said that Chelsea are going to win the league. Yep. Who's the idiot?
We've got a manager that knows how to win a league.
No. Who's the idiot?
Won the Bundesliga.
I don't care. Who's the idiot?
What's the Spursy one? What's the Spursy ever won?
They finished 10th. Sorry.
10th.
Correction.
Oh, no.
You finished 10th.
You'll take her place.
No, you finished 10th.
You'll take her place.
All right? And you come on talkSPORT and said that you're going to win the league.
You'll take her.
I don't think I'm an idiot in saying that Spurs can finish in the top 4 if we sign for Savinho and Mamush.
You'll take her place.
So,
Roberto De Sperzi.
There's only one mug here, and it's you.
Roberto De Sperzi, he'll take 10th, mate. That's a good season for you lot. Mate, you'll take that. Jay.
Don't
100%.
Don't Jay me. Don't Jay me. Right? Don't Jay me.
Jay, 100% you take 10th. I'll give you 10th now. With 10 games to go 10th. So you've not got to sweat like you did last season. Sweating over the last couple of games. Are we going to go down? Oh, no. We go, oh, no, let's go down.
Mate, you finished 10th.
Yeah, I know we did.
You literally finished 10th.
Yeah, but we've got a manager that knows how to win the league.
That's almost like you spent £1 billion on a football team.
Yeah,
and finished 10th.
Another billion.
Right, who's more embarrassing?
And we're going to win it.
Who's more embarrassing?
Do you know what we should do? We should go for Savinho and Mamouche. Then we'll definitely win it. Put that in the Todd.
keep.
What do you mean? Don't start getting.
No.
Don't.
I really want to swear at you, but I'm not going to. Right?
Don't, Jay. Take. I'll give you. Okay, here we go. 10th. Yes or no? Yes or no? Jay. Yes or no? Take 10th. He's going to take 10th. He's wrong with that. You got to take 10th.
Good morning. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast with me, Katie Shanahan, alongside former Millwall and Marseille striker and two Bob Tony Cascarino.
One bob was 5p, two bob was, and it was a common phrase, two bob, in years gone by, where it basically meant you weren't worth a lot, you weren't any good.
Tony,
Have you
don't
said,
say that about
oh, that
yourself.
striker's two bob?
You need to be saying 10 bob, 15 bob, even if
well,
we don't
10
know.
bob is 50p,
Yeah.
but two bob Tony, funny, because that was such a common phrase.
We've had a text here. It says, good morning, guys. Love the show. And he's also quizzed you. I'd be impressed if Tony knows all 4 clubs who play the Liquidator.
Oh. Well, no, I obviously knew Chelsea, but I absolutely no chance of where the other one would go.
Well,
Go on.
Wolves, we've played
Wolves,
it.
yeah. Oh, you said that.
The other two, 8-10-89, if you know.
No, I don't know.
There we go. Okay. 8-10-89. Which of the 4 clubs who play the Liquidator? Right. We are building up to and reacting to another big season ahead. Here's what's coming up on talkSPORT today. From 9 a.m, it's the warm-up with Max Rushton and Charlie Baker. Then it's our first game day exclusive of the season. Yes, Hull City against Manchester United. Adrian Durham then takes you around the grounds in the Premier League and the EFL. That's from 2:30. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy will take your calls from 5:30 on the Game Day phone-in. Then you've got at 7:30 the Rory Jennings Show returns. And at 9:30, Gareth A. Davis will take you into the world of boxing. That's with Fight Night. So it's a great day of sport. So keep across all of the sport today. Just keep it on talkSPORT. Right, let's dive right into our lunchtime kickoff exclusively here on talkSPORT. Hull City's first Premier League game in 10 seasons as they take on Manchester United at the MKM Stadium.
The Premier League is back in session. Ball into the near post. Comes to Mbane! Off the goalkeeper and in!
You know, I think it kind of suits us having no pressure. You know, no one expects anything from us.
Of course, motivation for sure, and also we don't have anything to lose.
And it's fired into the net by Cunha, and it's 1-0 to Manchester United.
I hope they've got a bit more business to do.
If they can add one big boy up top, definitely within a shout.
It's about what we do, you know, and what we can do, what we're capable of doing, what we believe we can do as a group. I think the run of form that we had last season gives us a lot of confidence.
We are not here just to participate in this season, so we will try to do our best.
Never ever predict what happens in the Premier League.
Well, Hull City have not been tipped by many to remain in the Premier League this season, but the Hull City owner, Atu Nichola, came on talkSPORT yesterday and he warned everyone to take Hull City as serious competition this season. Well, joining us for more on this is the legend and former Hull City manager, Phil Brown. A very good morning, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
Morning, Katie. Morning, Tony. How are you?
Yeah, I don't know if you heard our conversation of the two Bob, Phil, earlier. I was going to say our whole two Bob.
I've got to say, I did have a bet on 10 Bob, Tony. Last time it ran and finished nowhere. Our Hull City a good bet. Dear me. It's I just Cass, I look at it, you know, and you've done your pre-season. You know what pre-season's all about. It's about a hard slog. It's about starting 6 weeks ago and then finishing on the Friday before the first game of the season, making sure that you're fit, making sure that you're available for selection. Now you've got the excitement of all that to be able to control. And I think Sergei, he'll have been going through the mill, obviously, with the state of play regarding the playoffs last year, but they've got the job done. Now they're in the Premier League. And all that preparation and planning is now coming to bear fruit. You're hoping it's coming to bear fruit. Then the draw comes out and you play Man United first game of the season. I mean, dear me. I don't know, Cass. I just think it's a good time to catch Manchester United. Now, a lot of people will be saying, what are you talking about, Brownie? But you're playing United first game of the season. They've been playing, you know, all this weird and wonderful pre-season that everybody at the top are having these days, you know, where they travel all over the world and they're playing great sides, you know. Now you're playing Hull City at the MKM Stadium. And I don't know, it feels like a good time to catch United if I'm a Hull City fan or a player or a manager. But at the same time, you've got to get the reality over.
Yeah.
I watched last night a reality check. 3 promoted teams, Coventry, Ipswich, City through the playoffs. Now, Coventry went up as champions, were absolutely whitewashed last night. It could have been 5-6. You know, they never had a touch in the opposition's penalty box. I mean, come on. All of that kind of stuff is a sign that the championship is a million miles away.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not a million miles away. I think Arsenal are possibly a million miles away from everybody at the moment.
Phil, can I just say to you on Hull City, because I watched them in the playoff games against Millwall and obviously the final against Middlesbrough, and they adopted the 5 at the back, and I thought they did it brilliantly well. Do you think they'll stay with that initially at the start of this season?
I think sometimes, Cash, you go into when you're an underdog, you go in with the thought process that if I stick an extra centre-half there, at least we'll have 5 defenders and then we'll have 3 in front of that, etc., etc. But I think the 3-man centre-half system is an extra centre-half, yes, but it's also, for me, a better position for John Egan. I had John Egan on loan from Sunderland when I was at Southend, and he's a character, there's no doubt about it. He knows how the game should be played. He's almost a coach in the making, for sure, and he was only a young lad at the time. But I think sticking a left foot and a right foot either side of John Egan, who can actually dominate the game with his voice, I think that isn't a bad ploy. But 3-4-3, as you well know, Cass, we watched Chelsea a few years ago. They mastered 3-4-3. If you can get 3 strikers, one either side of McBurney possibly, then it might be a system to suit. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the best system in the world, but it might be a system to suit Hull City. And it doesn't mean it's an extra defender. It means a system that everybody round pegs in round holes, I think.
Phil, Hull striker Ollie McBurney obviously scored the winning goal to get them promoted to the Premier League. Has called this game against Manchester United a free hit. How do you see it?
Never a free hit. I really don't believe in that terminology. I know what he's saying. He's trying to take the pressure off his own pals. He's got his teammates to think about. If he's walking around saying this is a free hit, we can relax and play the game kind of football we want to play. That won't be the case. It's never a free hit against the big boys. I think it's going to be a tough one, no doubt in my mind. But if they can get to half time and they're still in the game, if they can get to 67 minutes and they're still in the game, then there's an opportunity to nick it. And if that's nicking it, you walk away from that. You haven't lost the game 3-0 and embarrassed to a certain extent like Arsenal did to Coventry last night. But if you just stay in the game, and Castle know what I mean, just stay in the game with every bit of determination, grit, desire, whatever you want to call it, stay in the game as long as you possibly can. And who knows, this game of football can throw up unbelievable surprises, and today could be one.
Yeah, look, one of the massive challenges, as you'll well know, Phil, is that when you get like McBurney got 17 goals and Gelhardt got like 13 last year, what does that equate to in the Premier League? Probably around about half. That's how tough it is. It'll be tough for McBurney to get 10 Premier League goals. If he did, they'd be delighted with that.
They'd be delighted with double figures. He would be delighted with double figures. But I'll go back to my time when we got promoted. We had championship strikers, and I'm not being disrespectful to them. We had championship strikers, and then we signed Giovanni, who just lit the place up. You've got a Brazilian number 10, and you've got, obviously, I'm talking about round pegs and round holes now. I had to play a system around Giovanni that sacrificed a lot of players that actually got us to the Premier League, but they understood. And that's what you've got to do. I think you've got to drive that understanding where your team's concerned. You've got to drive that home to every player. And you're not being left out. You're not being benched. You're not being subbed. You're actually part of a group and a group dynamic. And you look around that changing room, Cash, you know what it's like. You look around and say, he's going to bring something to the party. He's going to bring something to the party. And you, as a striker, you'd be thinking, well, come on then. I'm going to stay between the sticks here. And I think that's what McBurney needs to do. Stay between the sticks and wait for that delivery.
Yeah.
And I think they'll get that delivery at certain stages of the game, but it won't be free play. It'll be every so often, and McBurney's got to be in the right place at the right time.
Phil, give us a little life update. What are you up to these days?
I'm doing plenty of work for TV, television, radio, etc., etc. I'm waiting for you guys to send me to a couple of games. I thought I might have got today's game, but obviously you've already planned for that. No, I'm serious. I'm going to QPR today, QPR Bolton. I'm doing BBC Radio Manchester. So I've got a Man United, Man City. I've got them, the big boys in the Premier League, but also the Championship first and second. It's part of my life, that. The 72 clubs outside the Premier League. I absolutely love going to games, and I'm going to QPR. They had a great win last week at Portsmouth, and Bolton had a good start of the season, beating local rivals Preston. So it's one of them games where you could actually see one or two favourites coming out in the first couple of weeks in the Championship to get to that promised land. But I'm doing plenty of work. I'm doing podcasts and this, that, and the other. I'm really enjoying my time off, but As you well know, Cass, once a manager, always a manager.
Well, Phil, we've loved having you on the show this morning. Enjoy Hull against Manchester United, which you can listen to. Thank you so much. You can listen to exclusively on talkSPORT. Kickoff for that one is 12:30 with all the build-up with Reshman alongside Sam Matterface as well and Steve Bruce as well. So you are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast. Good to have your company this Saturday morning. We are in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Get complete peace of mind with Volkswagen's 5+ promise. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Stick around because coming up next we've got Cascarino yes or Cascarino and maybe more history lessons on the way as well. Good morning.
So this summer has gone from bad to worse for Villa. Unai Emery, Morgan Rogers and Yuri Tielemans already gone, of course. And now it looks like Konza, that's the big one, is on his way to the Arsenal. Now let's bring in another Gabby, who must be delighted. Gabby the Gunner, who has called us in 03717 22 3344. Gabby, a very good morning.
Dry your eyes, Gab. I know it's hard to take, but Constance made his mind up. There's plenty more fish in the sea. Dry your eyes, Gab. I know you want to make Constance see how much his pain hurts, but you've got to walk away now. It's over. Sorry, Gab. And Alan, welcome back, sir.
Thanks,
I'm
mate.
so pleased you've got a fit bill of health.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
No, I'm good, Gabby. Thank you very much, mate. I was missing this, so I'm back.
Missing you.
He's not
The
missed
nation
you,
was
mate.
Missing you, Alan.
He ain't missed you, Gabby.
Oh, he always misses me. It's you he doesn't miss, Gab.
Well,
Come on,
but
bruv.
can I ask you a
We're both
question,
Gab in
though?
Essex.
You
Go
know,
on, mate.
spending what you spent again this summer, is the minimum Champions League and Premier League for Arsenal?
Oh, Gab, listen, you've got always got. He'd make a
I'm
great
asking you.
politician, wouldn't he, Alan? He really would make
I'm
a
asking
great
you.
politician.
Are you closer to winning the Champions League with these signings?
I still think we're short of one exceptional striker. I think Osimhen, Alvarez, that's kind of the missing link. It could be enough with Solis and with the guys we've got.
How's that? Next March, the England cricket team face Australia in the 150th anniversary Test match down under. And as always, the Barmy Army will be there. And thanks to TalkSport and Visit Victoria, you could be too. Enter now at talksportwin.com for the chance to score an incredible week-long trip for two to watch the 150th anniversary Test match in Melbourne with Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. Enter now at talksportwin.com and get ready to experience the electric atmosphere that only a Barmy Army tour delivers.
Good morning. This is Weekend Sports Breakfast. Good to have your company this morning. Hope you're getting ready for a big Saturday of football. You can keep across it on talkSPORT. The early kickoff, 12:30, Hull against Manchester United to kick things off. You are listening to Weekend Sports Breakfast with me, Katie Shanahan, alongside former Chelsea and Villa striker Tony Cascarino this morning. Right, a reminder of a huge night of World Championship Boxing is live for you on DAZN tonight. Rolly Romero defends his WBA welterweight world title against Teofimo Lopez, looking to prove his win over Ryan Garcia was not a one-off, as the takeover chases history to become a three-weight world champion. Then next Saturday, Cam Moses become Britain's youngest heavyweight world champion in history as he faces his toughest opponent to date, Filip Hrgović, for the vacant IBF heavyweight world title. All you need to do is join DAZN Ultimate for over 185 fight nights and a minimum of 12 pay-per-views every year, including Moses against Hrgović, Rolly Romero against Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia against Conor Benn. All of that included at no extra cost.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Okay, so we got a text here, quite a difficult text because we were playing the Liquidator, and someone, well, Spence said, I'll be very impressed if Tony knows all of the 4 clubs who play the Liquidator. You got 2? Well, we put it out at end 8:10:89, the text topic. Finn, the Leeds fan, got 3 out of the 4 correct. Chelsea, West Brom and Wolves correct.
Right.
Lee from Leighton got the last club correct in Northampton Town.
No idea.
So Chelsea, West Brom, Wolves and Northampton Town are all the clubs, 4 clubs that play the Liquidator. A little bit of a fun game for you, right? Still some time left in the show, just 10 minutes before Max Rushton and Charlie Baker will be here. So let's end the show with this.
Cascari yes or Cascarino on talkSPORT with the VW Transporter from VW Commercial Vehicles. Search VW Transporter.
Yes, it is time for Cascari yes or Cascari no with the VW Transporter. We'll get Cass's quick-fire hot takes on the weekend's big sporting topics. Our voice of live football, Adrian Durham, was on talkSPORT's podcast Fiery Fridays. He says that despite all the spending, Spurs will live to regret selling the striker. Will Lancashire?
Spurs selling Will Lancashire to Middlesbrough, I think, will go down as the worst mistake any Premier League club has ever made. And I think even by the end of this season, Spurs will be regretting what I think is a crazy decision, okay? Now, Lancashire will play for England before the season is out. He'll be an Arsenal player this time next year. For the second time in their recent history, Spurs have just sold Harry Kane. So let me just recap the story. On July the 21st, the news was announced that Tottenham had sold academy product Will Lancashire to Middlesbrough for around 10 million down, 10 million to come, so totaling £20 million. Right now, we're in the middle of August. Unless Spurs add goals before the end of the window, they will be watching Will Lancashire, their product, smash in 20 plus for Borough.
So, there we go. Cascari yes or Cascari no. Where do you sit on that one, listening to Fiery Fridays? Do you agree with Adrian there?
Well, look, there's a couple of things there. Will Lancashire, honestly, Will Lancashire is a hell of a talent, but the fact that he's left that's De Zerbi making that call, because a manager would say, I'm keeping him.
But also, naturally, you're probably going to shine.
Yeah.
In the Championship, maybe more than the Premier League.
He went off on loan to Oxford. He got goals. He's relatively very inexperienced, as you'd expect. I said at the start of the season that they'd be interested to see how he goes. Borough, if he's clinical, that's exactly what Middlesbrough missed last season, and does well, of course it will look a horrendous mistake. I think long-term, he will be a Premier League player and will get goals. He's a big lad with a lot of talent, that's for sure.
I watched him the other day against Wrexham, scored in the Carabao Cup, and he looks really good indeed. Got up and running, scoring a couple of goals already for Middlesbrough. So, Cascari yes or Cascari no in terms of no Spurs striker will hit 15 goals this season?
No, I don't think any of them will, so...
That's a Cascari clear no then.
No.
Okay, Cascari yes or Cascari no. Someone that's not Erling Haaland will win the Golden Boot this year.
Thiago.
He was close, wasn't he?
It was close. No, I'll go for the outsider. It's hard to ignore Haaland. So if I'm talking realistically, I mean, if you want to have a bit of a flutter and second, or, the guy that may beat him would be Thiago. But if he stays fit, he's going to get a lot of goals early on. So,
João Pedro, Alexander Isak coming close?
Yeah. Not so sure with Isak.
He's got to step up, hasn't he?
He has injuries every season. He always has. He's not a durable player. He's a very good and exciting one, but he's not durable.
Tottenham fans, cover your ears for this one. Cascarino yes or Cascarino no. Arsenal to win the league by 15 or more points.
No, they won't win by 15. I believe
they're not going to walk it like that. I mean, yeah, maybe back-to-back for the first time in 91 years, but 15 or more points is ridiculous.
No, too high. Who said that? Adrian again?
I don't know, I'm just reading this out. This is just, I think, a number of quotes that popped in here.
If you're going off the back of one game, it could look possible, but I to win by 15, no, I don't see that.
What about this one? Cascarino yes or Cascarino no? More than one of 3 promoted teams will stay in the Premier League next season.
Go on, give it. Let's have a repeat of last season. Yes, 2 of them will survive.
Okay, which 2?
Ipswich, Coventry.
Oh, you're leaving out Hull. We just had the lovely Phil.
No, I hope they do. Look, I don't have any bias in the game at all, but I think they've got the toughest job. But who'll see? We'll wait and see. They come 6th last year, end up getting via the playoffs, getting promoted, did brilliantly well.
Okay, that was Cascarino yes or Cascarino no, thanks to VW Transporter.
Cascarino yes or Cascarino on talkSPORT with the VW Transporter from VW Commercial Vehicles. Search VW Transporter.
Okay, so we've had so many texts coming into the show this morning. Thank you ever so much. 81089 goes, good morning. This is from Alan. Alan from Devon. Good morning, Alan. Goes, good morning, Katie and Tony. Hoping that Tottenham have a better season than the last 2. Can't wait to see them in action.
Well, that's not hard, is it?
Yeah, well, exactly. 17th in the last 2 seasons. But, pushing for Europe, they've spent over 300 million. And, they
haven't stopped yet.
Haven't stopped. They might be smashing that record. Also, good morning. This Steve Roberts agreeing with you here that Never Walk Alone is the best anthem in world football right now. Obviously, I said North London forever. But it goes, morning both, on a walk now in Merseyside and can't beat Never Walk Alone. And also saying, come on, you Spurs, 3-1 win today.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're backing Brentford.
I think it's one of the worst games to have at the start of the season is Brentford. And Man United found that out a few years ago. So did Arsenal. Played them early on. You could play. Brentford can take you apart. They're a really well set up team.
Yes. Okay. Right. That's all we've got time for this morning. Good to have your company. Thanks for being with us this Saturday morning. A reminder, in our latest competition, we are sending you and a mate down under. This is thanks to Visit Victoria and the Barmy Army. You could be at the MCG watching England take on Australia at the 150th anniversary test match. That's head to talksportwin.com right now to enter for full T's and C's. Cass, what you got up to? What are you getting up to for the rest of the day?
Well, I'm going to Millwall.
Oh, yeah,
It's
you're
Norwich,
off to Millwall.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh,
12:30.
have a great time.
Come on, you Lions.
Come on, you Lions. Right, that is it from me and Cass this morning. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Up next is the warm-up with Max Rushton and Charlie Baker. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
And 2 weeks today, the transfer window closes. Would you anticipate much more business in terms of incomings between now and then?
Well, you can see the league, how unpredictable the league is and the amount of things that can happen on a day. So it's better not to talk too much, be prepared, be open, and hopefully we can wrap up the transfer window in a really positive way.
You were speaking before the Community Shield. You were asked about your long-term future and contract negotiations, and you said there's nothing to worry about, Arsenal fans. Do you see yourself as somebody who can do what the likes of Guardiola and Wenger and Ferguson did and stay at the club for many years and build a dynasty?
I want to do what I'm capable of doing and what is the best for the club. And I feel very, very happy and grateful to be sitting where I am with the people that I work with every single day. And my ambition is to continue this way.
Was it strange at Cardiff on Sunday that you weren't facing Pep Guardiola in the dugout, given that rivalry that's developed and obviously your relationship with him?
It was different. Obviously, I know Enzo really well, but obviously the relationship that I built with Pep when we work with each other, and then, yeah, the amount of headaches and sweats that he has provided to me over the last 6-7 years to try to catch up to the level and the standards that they set in the league has been an absolute inspiration. I think he's left a benchmark and a mark in this league that it will be history forever, and he made us, I think, all of us better.
Have you had many conversations with him since the end of the season, since you were crowned champions?
I had, and I have due to have an important as well in the next few days, and I'm looking forward to it.